Today's show is brought to you in part by Lisa Mattress. Lisa was founded with a simple goal. Do you want to hear it? Well, here it is. They want to help people sleep better. They've got an innovative direct-to-consumer online strategy where they will sell you mattresses through the mail. These mattresses are made in America, and they're challenging the traditional mattress industry. See for yourself why everyone is raving about Lisa by trying it in your home 100 nights risk-free. And you get $100 off a Lisa mattress right now if you use the offer code Bombcast at LEESA.com.
Hey, hi, hello. It is Tuesday, June the 11th, 2017.
It's July the 11th.
What did I say?
You said June.
July the 11th.
Last time I was here, it was still June. That's
Yeah.
an excuse.
It's June upstairs all the time in Bradland.
Oh, boy. Smack me around a little bit till I get it right.
Oh, finally.
Yep. No unruly streaming boxes holding us back here.
That's right.
We're on.
Oh, God.
We're live.
We made it. We made it.
How's it going down
That was
there?
45 minutes of like, what the fuck is going on
There
here?
was smoke pouring out of the room next door.
There was no logic as to what these problems were.
You can't-
But
There never is.
no,
I mean, sometimes there is.
we had a workaround. We're streaming. We should be live. Hopefully people can hear us.
You can't trust electrons.
Yeah, and
You never know what they're up to.
you never trust those sons of bitches.
Yeah. But here we are,
Yeah,
talking
here
into
we are.
microphones.
I need
We're
a,
here.
I need a breather.
Sort of right at it. Yeah. You want
All right.
to crawl under the command center and take a nap?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Check back with you in a few minutes.
All right, cool.
How was July the 4th, everyone?
Oh, it was,
Was it safe and or sane? Was that?
it was all right.
Is that very last decade?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
No.
No.
You-
Safe
Yeah.
and or
Safe
and sane.
Safe
Safe
and
and
sane?
sane.
No.
They used to put that. They
Really?
used to put that on the fireworks, on
I thought-
all the stands and stuff.
Okay.
It'd be like,
I
get
thought-
the safe and sane fireworks.
Like I thought that was actually a Northern California thing because I never heard that till I came here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And then
I wasn't-
everybody said it here.
I never like bought fireworks.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't. I don't know that they necessarily say it anymore because I think it's just implied that like you're getting fucking California fireworks, which
Yeah.
might as well be fucking
They're-
shit.
Safe and sane by state law.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then plenty of counties don't even let you buy fireworks at all anymore around here. So there's
Yeah.
definitely. I feel like we're eventually going to get to a point where they just don't let people set off fireworks anymore.
Yeah.
At least here. You know.
Do you think they're ever gonna for real crack down on like Chinatown?
No, I mean they'll try, right? But like I don't know. Like that was the thing is like we didn't really do that much ourselves for the 4th, but it just at some point became very noisy.
Yeah.
And we have a cat, and was super fucking uncool. For
Cats
the
hate
cat.
fireworks.
Yeah, how was the
Yeah.
cat during that?
Like okay, like better
Really?
than expected, to be honest. But definitely like in a neighborhood full of fucking barking ass dogs.
Yeah.
That bark for no reason, like giving them a pretty good reason to bark,
Yeah.
turned out to make it kind of a noisy night, I guess. But
We had
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say we had a pretty good view of the like main fireworks show that takes
Like-
place
like
over
the
the
ones
bay.
over the bay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But it was cool. Like so, we have a little back patio. We're standing out watching that, but then also seeing each of the little neighborhoods around us just light up from their own individual displays was pretty neat.
yeah, I don't know. I don't like watching like fireworks shows.
Yeah, I liked it
it's-
for
it's-
about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you look at it and go like, huh, okay, yeah. Like there's something about like I want to light this off myself, but then even that's just like that's a hassle, and like the stuff that I would want to get into is like super against the law. So I don't know.
Just break out your copy of Fantavision.
Right.
Celebrate.
Yes.
Celebrate properly.
Even safer and saner.
Yeah.
That one rhythm
There's
heaven
nothing
mini game.
sane. Yeah, there's nothing sane about pulling out a PS2 and a copy
true.
of Fantavision.
That is true. When I landed in SFO last week and like we got on 280, about 3 minutes after we got on 280, there were a bunch of fireworks just shooting off right off the side of the freeway.
Yeah, I mean,
This was at like 7 p.m.
I feel like the 5th ended up being like just as
Yeah, it was
for a
weird.
shorter period of time, but
Yes.
there was definitely a period of time on the night of the 5th where people were like, "Oh fuck it, we got home late last night and didn't have time to do it, so let's do it all right now." Yeah.
Fireworks.
They're cool in
They're
theory.
all right.
Yeah.
It was not nearly as bad this year for us. Like, I mentioned last year that we live in that L-shaped building, and whenever sound goes in there, it just fucking reverbs and it like sets off all the car alarms in the fucking parking lot. But I think people like from last year experienced that, and this year turned off their car alarms or something because it was just as loud.
I'm gonna go steal cars on the 4th of July.
Yeah,
if you think about it, that no one's gonna come about a car alarm on the 4th. Yeah, be like, oh damn it.
Yep,
you got your cover. What else is new around here?
Just my new fucking car thieving ring.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
it's taking up most of your time.
Yeah.
Do you think you could take one of those apart in about a minute?
Like strip a car
apart?
Like steal it.
Oh, steal a car.
Leave within about roughly like 1 minute.
Oh, you mean like 60 seconds?
Like give or take 60
gone.
seconds.
I would be there in 60 seconds. I would probably still be there.
You would still probably take you like 5
still
minutes.
there in 60 seconds.
I had someone show me how to hotwire cars once, but that was like, hey, check out this fucking duster, just like some old ass car that was very easy to hotwire. It's not quite like that anymore, I think.
I remember watching videos on old YouTube about that.
Yeah.
Do all cars just have the ignition button now? Do they even make
lots of
not all cars.
Okay.
Yeah, not all
There are
cars.
plenty of
We
cars.
were kind of looking around for cars lately, and like some of the base models might not have that push to start stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those keys are, like any of those kind of key fob things are super expensive to replace. Like, if you lose one, it's like $200 fucking bucks to get that shit. So they kind of, like on my car, like you can't start the car without one of those things.
Right.
So it's like 1,000% vital to making the car go. They have a separate little pull-out valet key that you can use, but I want to say that even that, I don't know.
How many do they give you?
2.
That's it?
Yeah. Oof. And one lives here in the building where the garage downstairs.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow. What's the range on that thing? Can it be outside the car and still start?
Oh, still start?
Like somebody else in there hit the button?
So they have multiple sensors.
Okay.
So I can walk up. It's kind of fucking cool, to be honest. Like, I don't have to pull that thing out of my pocket ever. I can walk up to my car, grab the handle of the car, and it opens.
Wow.
But if I'm touching the handle of my door and, like, my wife or somebody pulls the other door, that doesn't open. So, like, that's weird short range. But then there's definitely like an inside the car, outside the car, because so it's neat.
Have you updated the firmware in your car yet?
No, they want. So that's another really fucked. Like you really want to fucking get into fucking this shit, man. We'll get into this shit. Motherfucking tech packages in cars suck shit.
Okay.
And the update process is somehow even fucking worse. Like for all this map data and all this other stuff, they want you to go back to the dealership. Like the car has fucking USB ports on it. And it has, a DVD drive on it. Like, you should be able to just put a disc, burn a disc, put it in, put something on USB, stick it in, and update your car. But no, they want you to go, and oftentimes the dealer will charge you money for these updates.
This is like that John Deere thing where like farmers are having to hack their equipment because you have to get an official John Deere dude out there to update your firmware, and it costs money. So they're like, have a rig.
There are torrents for fucking car updates and shit.
Wow.
Like,
there's basically DRM on seeds at this point. Like, you have to buy new seeds every year. You can't keep using them.
And so there's stuff like trying to think what it is. Like there's a bunch of weird shit. Like I was into the idea of like Apple and the Android stuff, like the car stuff that they were working on, where if the car supported it, it would be like kind of a universal interface that would transfer to the car. And I think that's a neat idea, though both implementations seem like they're total shit right now from what I've seen of them. But on my car, like there's a separate thing. Like so they have like app support on the car, but it connects to your phone, and then you have to launch an app on your phone, and then you can use the apps on the car, which use the phone to talk to.
The car doesn't have its own internet?
Plenty of cars do now.
Okay.
I rented I rented that Camaro that had internet on it, and you could definitely do some stuff that way. So maybe that's their solution. But it's this weird cockamamie thing where I've got to log into a thing on my phone and then open the app and then leave it open so that I can listen to the iHeartRadio app. Like, fucking no.
Can you play Wiz Khalifa's Weed Farm on your car?
I can, yeah. Not on. I mean, I can pipe the sound through Bluetooth, so
but
I can hear the sound of weed being farmed, booming through the car. But I still have to touch the phone screen. So
That sucks.
I know. Someday. But also probably not someday, unless like Apple or Google, when they finally make their own cars, and we just close the loop on that shit. Because getting auto manufacturers to actually give a fuck about making that stuff
at that
good,
point, it won't matter because the cars will be driving themselves.
Yeah,
so you can just be on your app and do whatever you want,
and you won't own the car in the first place. And
wait to see what kind of car Apple would design. Like, is the body going to be made out of glass?
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, definitely.
I really, just cannot envision it.
Yeah, it's a weird. All
the steering wheel is going to be a big iPod Touch wheel.
Okay, yeah, like a jog wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I could get into that. It's just going to be embedded in the dash.
Yeah,
this is how you steer.
It's hard to envision them making whatever for what they know stuff about technology, right? But you could say,
I guess.
I heard it. Jeff Gerstmann has this to say about Apple.
It seems like they know slightly less every day these days.
Yeah,
I guess.
But,
but they're doing their thing. But yeah, the idea of like, hey, make a fucking car and make it safe and make it like reliable and like
put a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack in it.
Yeah,
so I can listen to my headphones.
But you can only hear the engine of the car. You can only hear like it's just reports on Siri telling you like battery is low.
Check engine. Check engine. Check engine. Oh my god,
your car crashed. No, the firmware. Look, no, the car still. Yeah, that stuff's a mess. I look forward to the day when none of us have to own cars.
Yeah,
like when that future actually, if it seems like that'll happen.
You mean when none of us can own cars?
Well,
it's illegal to own cars.
Right. Well, yeah, there's also probably like that, yes, in some way. Cars will be no longer street legal. You'll have to go to a museum.
Yeah. Or like go to
Sears
Vegas.
Point.
Yeah, you have to go to Vegas to drive a car.
Yeah, go to Vegas to drive a car. And you can shoot a machine gun out of the fucking window of the car.
All right.
That sounds like it. That may be worth it.
Yeah, that's actually all right.
If it led to the driving and shooting, yeah, I don't know.
Mad Max zone,
pretty much.
I get why people are sentimental about the act of driving and don't want to give it up, but I don't care.
I mean, for me,
care.
it's that reality of the commute and just going like, man, if I had that time back to fucking sleep or look at hardcore pornography or just like whatever I would do in a car.
Any number of constructive things.
All this stuff that I could be doing safely as opposed to unsafely. That'd be worth it. That'd be worth it.
Yeah. Ride a bus.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could get down here on a bus in 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, they're running trains up there now. There's like this giant fiasco. You want to really get into local politics. We'll fucking settle into this shit. People don't like the fucking train.
Yeah, how NIMBY are we talking?
Because the train, it's noisy. So every municipality between fucking like Windsor and Sausalito is like, we passed something that makes it so the train can't honk.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, how do people not get hit by the train? It has to go slower. Like, oh, fucking awesome.
Good.
You're really fucking letting...
Oh, God. You figured that one out.
I remember being in a mock debate about that train in high school, and noise was really the big #1 point that the anti-side
Which
had.
position did you take?
I was pro-train.
Okay.
Because you could ride it
Trains
and
are
go
cool.
places.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Wouldn't it be cool if you could go somewhere on train and not have to drive and
not take a stupid bus?
Yeah. Though the reality of it is you would take a bus to a ferry and then the ferry takes like an hour.
Yep.
And so it's like a bus.
But you can drink on the ferry.
You can.
Yeah.
But taking a train to a boat and then letting off at the ferry terminal and then going like, okay, well, am I gonna walk this mile or am I late? Do I need to get a car? Like all this other stuff. Like getting around sucks. Shit.
Yeah.
No one should fucking go anywhere ever.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of the issue.
Okay, if we eliminate bandwidth caps, let's fucking attack this problem from the other
there
fucked
we
up
go.
side.
Yep.
Faster internet, more broadband infrastructure.
Okay.
Then no one has to leave the house ever.
Yeah.
Because they can control the robots that do their old job from the comfort of their home.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you just open up your drone chute and get anything you need.
Yeah.
You have my vote.
All right. Great.
This is a platform I can subscribe to.
Also, Murder Slingshot.
It's murder. Yeah.
Right. That comes with part of the platform.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's you
goes without saying.
You got to sign up for the whole thing.
I feel like we're a lot closer to that now than we once were.
Yeah. No. It's yes. Yes, I suppose so.
Murder Slingshot is newly relevant somehow.
Just depends on who implements it, I guess.
Yeah.
Who builds it first?
That's the key. Who has control of the slingshot? Speaking of murder. Whoa!
That's our new murder music.
On the ball down there. Good times on the island yesterday.
Oh, it was so fun.
I tuned in for a little bit. That was some good stuff.
I kind of feel bad that that's all I ever have to talk about these days, but
it's a fucking good-ass game, man.
I got between...
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a good-ass game.
Yeah, between playing solo a little bit beforehand and a couple duos and then those squad matches, I fully have the bug now for that game.
Yeah, and I feel like I personally and also we as a group have kind of turned a corner on that game where we're sort of playing it right now.
Yeah.
Or more correctly.
Yeah.
I'm having more fun with it, too.
Yeah. It seems like you guys are having more fun.
Well, I mean, we're seeking out conflict.
Like, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
There are two ways to fucking tech up.
Yeah.
You either run around houses for a while and hope you find shit, or you just count on other people having shit and take their shit.
Yeah. That ratio of like 20 minutes of looting to 30 seconds of action and then you start over was just not doing it for me.
It's fun. But, it's fun up to a point. And I think solo matches still can be that.
Yeah. But you get better so much faster by seeking out situations where you just have to really lay it down.
Yeah, totally. I got like a few kills yesterday. That I got like 4 kills in a solo, which that's the most I've ever gotten because I'm now more comfortable shooting. Just like, and that's the thing. It doesn't have to be all action all the time. You like land in a semi-populated zone. You know, you have some gunfights. You come out on top, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to take a little time and just gear up for the final confrontation, and then head in and just like go guns blazing. Like being aggressive doesn't necessarily mean trying to fight all the time. It just means fighting when you can, and then realizing there's no fight around you.
It's the thing of like, hey, there are some gunshots. Let's go over there.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it is. Like it's going to the gunshots as opposed to away from them, which is how I used to play it.
Yeah, there's definitely like especially in a squad match where you're like, okay, these people are fighting it out. They're going to be depleted by the time we roll up on them, and then we're going to fucking wipe out whoever's left.
Yeah,
and then steal all that shit. And then move forward.
Some of the like wildest, most tactical situations I've had were when there were like 60, 70 people left. You know, it's not very high stakes, but it's just like if you make every single fight you get into like the most important fight you've ever had, like the game is so much fun. If you're flanking, you're like flushing people out with grenades and stuff like that. Like it's just
it's a good fucking time. I am now like glued to their news feeds and just like what are they updating with? Like what's coming next? Like they
delayed the second map, right?
They've delayed. I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but they delayed like the full release.
Right.
A little bit.
I think I remember seeing recently that they
was it October now, or did they push it back from October?
Originally they had said they hoped to be in early access for 6 months. Now they're just committing to by the end of calendar 2017.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Did you guys see the shots of that desert map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that thing going to be like?
I don't know.
There's probably not much foliage out in the desert.
Yeah.
Where are you going to hide?
Exactly.
It's just going to be a bunch of open space.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do. It's
could
very
totally
easy.
change the game.
Your mind can very easily race when it comes to thinking about what they'll do next, because you'll run into situations like, oh man, is camo like going to be a different consideration on these maps, or are you going to queue up for an individual map, or do you just get what you get? And then like, are there going to be different weapons for different areas,
different vehicles?
Like what sort of stuff will they? How will they?
I want a swamp zone that you can ride around on fan boats.
A swampo zone?
Yeah, swampo zone.
That'd be kind of cool.
What if there were alligators in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Some environmental hazards could go a long way in that game.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that would lead to some real goofy ass moments if it was just like, oh, shark ate our fan boat.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like the more variables you throw in there, the more crazy and chaotic and unpredictable it gets.
You still want to feel like you're in control, right? You don't want to like.
That's where the modders come in. You have like cool custom maps and.
Okay, 50 players play as sharks, but you don't want to run into situations. You don't want to create situations where it feels like you got fucked.
That's true. Yeah.
By AI or by not humans.
Yeah.
When you get murdered by human players. Like I'm at a point with that game where I'm usually coming out of losing feeling really good, where it's just like, man, it was cool to see how they handled me.
I mean, 100% of the times that you die, it's because you got outplayed.
Yeah,
like it's never because like you feel like you got cheated or something.
I got outplayed by that dune buggy when I got out.
Well, okay, all right. There are written but even then, you know damn well not to get out of a moving vehicle.
Outplayed by this parachute somehow cutting loose 2 stories up and. I got my first scoped kill over the last weekend, it's just like it's almost like a checkbox of like I need to experience the different ways in which you murder or get murdered, and then start to realize how I need to get better at them. Like I had not done a lot of long distance shooting.
Yeah,
in that game,
I'm still terrible at it.
So getting a scope and just being able to actually kill someone, even though it took every single fucking bullet I had because I was such a bad shot, but being able to just do it and get a feel for it a little bit.
I just learned about the thing where you can hold shift to steady your breath.
Yeah,
like,
that's a big deal.
And they're still like adjusting your bullet drop or zeroing distance or
zeroing
whatever it is.
on the scope.
I still don't understand how that works.
It's basically you're sighting in your weapon for the range that you're trying to shoot at.
Okay.
So it's a matter of like, okay,
so you're just kind of estimating with the distance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that requires you to estimate distance, which I'm fucking terrible.
Yeah.
At.
Like
in real life, in anything, like
sniping in that game is not Call of Duty sniping or Quake railgun or whatever. It is. It's technical and challenging.
Bullet drop. There's like,
but also still fun. Like plenty of games have bullet drop.
Yeah.
I want to say even like Battlefield, I would say has some bullet drop in it. But plenty of games have it, and I've always been terrible at it. But I've never felt like I wanted to get better at it until this game. Like this is the game that's making me want to go. Like actually, because because it's not like I pick a loadout and choose the way I play. It's what you find dictates how you approach situations. Then you just have to become like that kind of jack of all trades. Like, and that's a really interesting thing for me. Like having played a ton of other shooters over the years and stuff, like this kind of like forced situation is really neat.
We both got a bare fist kill yesterday for the first time, and that felt great.
Wait, did you confirm you can kill with fists?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to punch a downed player to death, but more time than it takes to down them, I want to say. But
yeah, it felt like it.
But yeah,
I did not know you could shoot the
shoot the plane.
Yeah, shoot the plane.
What was actually? I wasn't there. That.
They told me, hey, you can shoot the plane.
Okay.
And I pointed my crossbow at the plane and hit fire, and a thing fell out. And that happened 2 more times in the stream.
It seems like bullshit, but also it seems like it happened 3 times in a row.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't know. And I guess Dan finally won one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He must have found a suppressor.
Had someone tell him how to do it.
Tell him how to play the game.
Immediately went and won. So yeah, that's
he just needs some guidance, and then he can execute.
Yeah, there's
there's
a part of me that wants to really sink into playing a whole lot more of that game. Yeah. Like I'm not playing a ton of it outside of what we're streaming.
Yeah.
But now I'm on like fucking 3 different Discords that are full of people looking for squads and all this stuff. So there's definitely like, the
politics and etiquette of which Battlegrounds Discord to use has also been kind of amusing to watch. It's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to invite people to somebody else's Discord, but I'm on like 5 of them, and this is ridiculous, and it's fun.
Yeah. That game's a good fucking time.
It is. Anything else a good time?
No. Fire Pro Wrestling World is out in early access.
Okay.
That just came out last night.
Kind of getting super excited about that.
So they I'm sure that there are previous Fire Pro games that had probably this exact mode in it or something, but at some point, like playing those games early on when they were all in Japanese, it was hard to get
indecipherable.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Like especially if you want to create a wrestler, like it's all menu driven, that stuff. So that stuff's out of the question. But even the way that game plays compared to what you think of you think of wrestling games as being this like mashy, like I'm going to slam the buttons to stand up, and then slam the buttons to cinch in this hold, and then slam the buttons to get this pin.
Very grapply and kind of contrived.
And just you kind of mashing shit and hoping for the best. Like, this game finally has a mission mode that is a straight-up tutorial about, like, here's how you fucking play the game. So I didn't finish the tutorial, but even just, like, the first 2 things is, like, here's how you time your grapples to pull them off. You're like,
hard.
It's a timing thing.
It's almost fucking frames.
Is this how all the Fire Pro games have always played, and nobody ever understood?
I mean, plenty of people have, but not me.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit of that. It's weird because you can kind of hit like it's the momentum stuff. Like it doesn't put meters on the screen. You kind of have to watch your wrestler, and when he's huffing and puffing for breath, there's a rest button you have to hit to kind of go
catch your breath. Yeah,
catch your breath and recover a little bit. And then you'll be more likely to kind of execute the heavier moves and stuff.
Seems cool.
Yeah, it seems cool. It's got Steam Workshop support.
Where does the world part come in?
It's got online.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, you can play online.
It's not like some massively multiplayer wrestling game or something.
How customizable is?
Like very. You can make your own. You can make your own divisions and rosters and stables and all this other stuff. Like it doesn't have a story mode, but you can make your own rings. Like I'd love to see them have a story creator in there because that's what any good wrestling game needs. But yeah, this is the first time that I've been able to like actually feel like I knew what I was doing with a Fire Pro game.
Okay.
So
Is this, I
early impressions.
Just want to see what it looks like. Is this thing all 2D?
Yeah.
It's just like
a same as it has been,
like
always.
old school throwback kind of thing?
Huh. Yeah. I mean, the old school, visuals was definitely more sprite-based, and these...
Right, these are kind of...
still sprites, technically, I
guess,
but they look hand-drawn.
They have this weird kind of crummy filter on them. Yep. I will say I don't necessarily love the way the art looks.
I'm with you.
In the game, but...
Probably a really dumb question. This is developed in Japan, right?
Yes, it is.
Same people as always.
Spike stuff.
I say they're like super rare for a Japanese developer to put out an early access Steam game, right?
Yeah, we had David Craker from Spike on, or from the developer on during E3 and talked to him a little bit. And it has workshop support, which is key for this game because it is like the game already has there's a ton of wrestlers you can add to the game, and the process is clunky because you have to subscribe to them like you do with any Steam Workshop content, but then in-game you have to go create a new team or retire wrestlers from the existing team, fake wrestlers, and then import the ones you've downloaded because people have made Shinsuke Nakamura, and there's multiple Chris Benoit's up there, of course.
Yeah, there's they're like signature finishers and moves and stuff are usually included in the game to some capacity.
Yeah, so people are definitely trying to create real wrestlers and put them in there.
But yeah, if somebody wants to do the work for me and create DX or whatever, I'm gonna go download that because you know what, everybody has 600 different moves and shit, and it would take a long time to recreate.
And then you can also edit the AI. So if you're playing against that wrestler, their propensity to use the certain moves. So there's some art to that, making that read as the real person's in-ring work. And so it's the workshop support's a huge thing for that. Just having a way to kind of benefit more easily from other people's hard work.
Right.
It's neat. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. I figured I would download it and go oh man, it's cool that they made all these wrestlers and I got Kenny Omega in this game and that's great. But man, I don't want to fucking play this. But actually, I'm kind of having a good time. Cool.
Who is Kenny Omega?
Kenny Omega.
I feel like I've never gotten the backstory.
He is one of the best. Depending on who you ask, he may very well be the best wrestler working today.
Okay, that's not the answer I was expecting.
He is not in the WWE. He was. He's in New Japan.
I got the impression.
Kind of by choice. We played Street Fighter with him actually on the site.
Right, that's the thing. I hear his name in 8 different contexts all the time, and I just never stopped to actually say.
He's just had some fantastic matches over the last few years, really.
Yeah, great wrestler. It's super funny in the ring too. A lot of ridiculous shit that he does, and he's in tune with the video game world because he's a gamer.
Yeah, he loves fighting games. He's always he always does big stuff at CEO for the last couple of years.
Yeah, him and Xavier Woods had a big fight at
show
match. Yeah. He is potentially the leader of the Bullet Club. Which is, if you've seen Tekken 7, it has a bunch of Bullet Club shirts. It's an NWO-esque faction in New Japan wrestling.
It's a good name.
He also seems not shitty.
Yeah, also
as a person, just a decent guy.
Yeah.
I feel like that mentality. That's on the rise in wrestling.
I was gonna say you say that like that's out of the norm or something.
Yeah, I mean,
what's going on with wrestling?
It seems like there's a lot of wrestlers now more than 5 years ago, but. Still, it's always good to know.
Sure. It's like those guys we had on E3 seem like totally decent guys.
Oh, totally. Definitely. I feel Xavier is good. Samoa Joe's a good guy.
Earnestness is maybe on the rise culturally, let's say. There is a desire for sincerity.
And I feel like that's, I think I might even mentioned it in the interview, but it was this thing of hey, it's cool that there are a lot of people that grew up loving wrestling and are now they're wrestling nerds who care about all the really crazy, obscure, weird shit that a lot of the fans do, but they're in the ring and can actually fucking do something about do stuff. And it's exciting to see more people like that kind of getting into that business.
It's like that management it just seems to be holding that back.
Well, yes, that's yes. Depending on the organization, sure. You definitely see some of that as well. But
just business holding back the business.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I've liked some wrestling lately.
Uh-oh.
Little bits and pieces of it around the edges.
When you say wrestling, do you mean the wrestling establishment?
Yeah, I mean WWE, generally speaking.
But
also this New Japan stuff has been
let go some big guy, right?
Always great.
Somebody was mad on Twitter about them releasing someone.
Austin Aries left the company recently.
Yeah.
I mean,
not a big deal.
He had done some good stuff.
He's got a good name. I like Austin Aries.
Not bad. Is TNA still a thing? Is it still going?
All right. If you really want to get into this.
I'm going to use the bathroom. Go ahead.
Okay. So, no. The answer is, is not.
Moving on.
It is now global GFW. So
Games for Windows?
Yes, Games for Windows now runs.
Jeff Green is back in the ring.
Yes, Jeff Green Memorial Tag Team Tournament. He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
Black Dragon.
Okay, let me think here. So Billy Corgan was trying to buy TNA.
Okay, sure.
That fell through. There were some lawsuits. Then
he got distracted by chemtrails.
Yeah. Yes.
Whole
you want to
thing.
talk about the wrestling establishment and something? Anyway, so the woman who so Dixie Carter, who was running TNA, and the company that she was running TNA, sold it to this company. I believe it's in Canada called Anthem. They're partners with. They probably
healthcare is involved.
Yeah, healthcare. This whole thing. I mean, there was an energy company, a literal like power company.
People just trying to
a division of it.
Diversifying their holdings.
Dixie Carter's father anyway. Fucking carny ass bullshit. And I think a NASCAR driver was involved at one point. Anyway, this company picked up TNA. They renamed it from just TNA to just like Impact Wrestling. So it was TNA Impact, and they're like, the TNA name A is fucking stupid. B has a lot of baggage associated with it. So whatever. They brought in Jeff Jarrett, who was the founder of TNA, one of the founders of TNA like 15 years ago or something like that. He had gone off and started something separate called Global Force Wrestling, GFW. And they had recorded some shows that never made it to TV. They were trying to get a TV deal. At one point, when you went to their website, it was literally like a fucking gold thing. Like, hey, you should invest in gold. Like, literally Jeff Jarrett going like, hey, you should buy into this. It was just fucking scam-ass shit. You're like, what the fuck?
Cash for wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much. So they were trying to get that thing off the ground, and then somehow they did some interpromotional shows with TNA, and then now suddenly they bought, like, the people that bought TNA also bought GFW and then rebranded TNA as GFW.
Okay, wait, but TNA was never part of WWE?
No.
Okay.
No. And
Don't be a fool, Brad.
Come on. No, TNA was kind of the thing that started up after WCW was purchased by.
Well, I remember people
WWE.
People describe TNA as kind of like the farm leagues where people would
move
up to WWE.
I mean, yeah, but not officially.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And it took a long road through Japan for most of those guys. But sure. So now it's technically GFW, but they think they still just call it Impact Wrestling. It's like back on. It's on TV. Like I saw some of a recent show they did, and it seemed like the same type of bad it always has. So with some guys that were in WWE at one point, like Bobby Lashley. I think he's the last ECW champion, if I remember right. But anyway, so yes, that is still running, and now Jeff Jarrett, once founder, who was drummed out for being hard to deal with, like is now kind of back at part of the helm of this thing, along with this event company. And it's a fucking mess. It's a motherfucking mess. But I don't know if this solves, like they had a lot of creditors and stuff, so it seemed like for a while there that it seemed like there was at one point talks that WWE may pick up at least TNA's tape library, because so now that they have a streaming service, they're very invested in like we want as much footage as possible.
They do have a streaming service,
and they also want to leverage all that footage for DVDs and best ofs and all this other stuff. So they love snapping up libraries, especially when the price is right. So that didn't happen, but I don't know how all that stuff's going to go. It's a mess.
But WWE kind of maybe sort of getting there a little bit.
There's some stuff around the edges. Like no, I think that like by and large, a lot of the stuff they want you to care about, I think is still pretty bad. The writing, the execution, a lot of that stuff is pretty rough. But like they're at a point where there aren't really bad matches. Like if you care about the physicality of the wrestling and stuff like that stuff is fine. It's generally pretty good. I mean, you can find better stuff elsewhere. Like some of the stuff that we're talking about, Kenny Omega and some of these matches that are coming out of Japan. Like
that's definitely where I find the most entertaining.
I
love good wrestling.
Yeah, if you care about like the actual physical act of wrestling, like fucking those matches are fucking amazing.
I mean, I assume they go for it.
They strong style, what they call it.
Okay,
they fucking look like they're fucking each other up, and sometimes they do. There's a guy that got injured pretty bad recently, but you know that's always the danger, I guess. Anyway, wrestling's a fucking mess.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks for the update.
But Fire Pro seems pretty
Fire
good.
Pro seems pretty good.
So far, so
I
good.
think the two guys that are pretending to be the fashion police and do a bunch of vignettes backstage where they pretend to be cops, and they have a picture of the $1 Million Man, or they have like a picture of Dusty Rhodes on the board that says like fashion icon, another one of IRS that, or $1 Million Man or IRS that says it's just bank fraud. Like just a lot of really good dumb fake Law and Order style bits. That's pretty good. And there's just a bunch of good dumb shit around the edges where you can tell like the writers are a little more like, yeah, figure it out. I don't know. We're focusing on this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's dudes got fucking thrown into ambulances and it's a bunch of dumb shit.
That's what you want.
Yeah, I guess. At the end of the day, I guess.
You want some kind of motor vehicle to be involved.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, they literally fucking threw a man into an ambulance and then backed said ambulance into the back of a semi on their show last weekend.
All right.
So
in a parking garage?
Yeah, in a parking. There was like a long parking garage bit that made me feel nostalgic for much better parking lot bits that they've done in the past. But still nice to see them doing something stupid.
Yep. All right, let's take a quick break and then come back and talk to Ben Pack about video games. What's new in Ben Packland?
Waka Waka.
Nah, hey, holy shit!
What?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Land is also a game.
And that's my last name.
Oh my god!
You spell it different though.
I do.
Ben Packland is the one where he walks from left to right. Yeah, and jumps over stuff.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah, it also sucks.
It also sucks.
That stays the same no matter what way he walks. I have not much new in terms of video games played, but I went to a board game party this weekend, and it was cool. Like I got there, and the host was like, "Hey, I have this new board game."
Chutes and Ladders 2?
Snakes and Ladders.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. She was like, I've never played it before. It says on the box it takes 2 hours. Do you think you're ready for that kind of a commitment from a board game? I'm like, well, it seems long.
Pretty high stakes.
But sure. It ended up taking 4.5 hours.
Man.
And it encapsulated perfectly my problem with like modern board games. So it was called Ora et Labora, which is Latin for pray and work. And it's a monk game where you're trying to build.
This already reads like a caricature of board game
It
culture.
really felt like it was developed by this guy who I guess is a big player in the board game space. He did another huge one. I forget the name of it, but it's about like
Monopoly. Was that his?
It was the guy
Candyland.
from the Monopoly box.
It's the guy with the money bags?
Yeah,
Oh,
and the monocle. Well, I always get mixed up. Does that guy have monocle and no mustache, or no mustache and a monocle?
I don't.
It's one of those. That's one of those things where like you think you know exactly what he looks like, but then you look at him and he doesn't have those things.
Saying monocle and mustache but
I think he might not have a mustache.
Sometimes a top hat.
The aristocracy always wants to keep you guessing.
Exactly.
That's how they keep you down.
But this game was like, it was honestly like playing the first part of a Civ game. It was like 4 people playing the first part of a Civ game, but when you're building, but you still haven't met any other people. And it was one of those resource management games, right? You know, kind of like, it was like somebody played, what's the standard one that everyone always talks about as like the nerdy board game where you're like trading sheep and stone and stuff?
It's not Carcassonne.
Catan.
Catan?
It's like a Catan thing, right? Where you have your resources and you're trying to manage it. But this game had 17 unique resources. I was getting new ones set like 3.5 hours into the game.
Give me a couple sample resources.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously you got like
clay,
outside
the
wood,
obvious.
stone,
Sure, yes.
but then you also got peat, which is burnt out
Peat
wood,
moss, yeah.
because that gives you more
stuff,
fire than
yes.
wood, but you can't use it to build. There was stone and rock and hard stone, books, lamps, straw, bundles of straw, hay, grapes, wine.
Hang on. Straw, bundles of straw, and hay.
So straw.
I mean, of course, hay is for feeding, straw is for building. Like, I'm not crazy.
So you can turn straw into bundle of straw. So that's the thing. All the resources were on little like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch squares. But when you flipped it over, it was a different resource. So you had to make sure you weren't flipping over any of your resource cards because then it became something else. But sometimes you could flip it over, but some of them you can't flip back once you flipped over.
How do you get more books? You have people out to like raid a library.
You have to have a library. Okay. You have to build a library,
and the books will come.
But you can only build a library on spaces that are adjacent to other. There were 4 different rule books, like within the thing, 4 unique rule books. The scoring system had 4 different scores each player had to calculate and then add together, and they were weighted differently. It was. By the end, we were all miserable. It was a great shared experience because it was all our first time playing it, and like the game was designed well. Once I understood how to play it, I like got the core conceit of the game, and I understood like, oh, there's the strategy here is to do this, and you want to kind of focus on that. And there were lots of different ways you could play it. But man, did it feel like 4 people playing individual games and not interacting very much with each other.
Is everybody pretty self-policing about actually following the rules? Because like we would always make it like halfway through a Monopoly match and then just start like throwing rules out as convenient and making stuff up.
So that's
like,
the thing.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of like a thing where like, because there was like a Joker piece, and you could do things with the Joker sometimes, but not all the times. And there was a little wheel that spun around, and we realized we weren't spinning it right sometimes. It was just like it made me think like they're not out of ideas for board games. People are never going to be out of ideas, but they don't really make not complicated board games anymore because those have all been made.
Yeah, well, but also it seems like that there's definitely like an audience of people out there that want something. I mean, I don't know about this game in particular, but like seems like that's what people want, right? Arkham Horror is not enough. They want to go further down this road of fucking arcane. I played Arkham Horror once. It just doesn't. It seems like there's like if you got a group of people together, there's like something better you could be doing, like sitting around an empty table and drinking instead of sitting around a table with a board game.
My exact question is there like an inverse relationship between density of rules and like how much alcohol you can consume? Because at a certain point, like you're going to get too drunk to just keep up, right?
I started, I was having a drink, and I was just like, I really shouldn't drink that much more, or else I
can't play this game.
Lose track of if I'm spending my bathhouse token correctly every turn. And
that's...
Yeah, and
that seems self-defeating.
Say what you will about Risk. Like, Risk always, like, the most common argument I hear against Risk is, it ends up just being you build up and build up, build up, and then do a million dice rolls, and then the game ends. But it really does feel like you're sitting there, and you're plotting against these people, and you have your alliances, and it feels very interactive, and you have a physical map that you see all your troops on and all their troops on. And I like Risk, but I don't I like games that are interactive. I like, when I play a game with other people, I like to feel like I'm playing with or against other people. I don't like to feel like there's adjacent things happening next to me, and it's just all of us kind of minding our own business. And sometimes we trade, but it's really not that.
Yeah, I guess the main purpose of, board games is to get everybody in a group. It's a little more social interactive than, playing games online, I guess.
You're saying the tyranny of board games must end?
I'm saying people need to take a step back and like play, not Candyland, but like play Life. Let's like play a game of Life and have a lot of drinks.
I've had a great time playing Life.
Yeah.
I like a good like card game. Like, it's kind of like light on the rules. You're talking to everybody, and it's like I used to play Munchkin a lot.
Totally. Munchkin's great. It's simple.
Yep.
Quick.
I like
fun.
Uno is a great time.
Okay.
You can play Uno for money. You can fucking play Uno for drinks. There's like a lot of different dumb shit you can do around Uno.
You can take a Sharpie and write drink 2 and drink 4 instead of draw 2 and draw 4 like we did.
You could.
Not high school, because that would be illegal.
That's against the law.
How about some Hungry 2
Hippos?
Cokes.
Hell yeah.
Let's get some action board games.
I would like to just have Hungry Hippos and like no people. Because, like, fuck the competitive aspect of it. I just like looking at the hippos and watching them do their thing. The hippos look good, man.
They do look good.
Let's get some manual games in there. Let's play some Operation or something.
Pop Trouble, man.
They even still make Operation.
Yeah, definitely. Like that seems like one of those things that.
But now it's like here's
Cyber Operation.
Operation on Chewbacca or something like Star Wars tie-in. And you're removing like Wookiee bone.
They did a Mr. Potato Head operation at one point, I think.
That's good.
Which is like that's a hot crossover.
That's good stuff.
And then I watched Castlevania.
Oh, did you watch that thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The new Netflix series.
I've heard super mixed things. Well, actually, I'd say most people have been really positive, but the people that have been negative have been so negative about it that I've been like, oh man,
I think it's pretty good. I think it's it's very it's very fan servicey. You've got your Trevor Belmont, you've got Alucard.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I learned that there is a hardcore Castlevania fandom through this thing. It's just like, how did I not know that there would be one of those?
Fucking goth shit. Of course there is.
Yeah.
I guess if anything, they're just like, it doesn't feel like there have been enough Castlevania products coming out to support a fandom for a long time.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm surprised by that too. Like, I have reverence for those games for sure.
Totally.
Like, some of those are some of my favorite games.
For me, it's
ever.
like there's Simon Belmont and there's Alucard, and I know like there's Bloodlines and all this other stuff, all these other games, all these other protagonists.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's always been like anything that was outside of Symphony of the Night or those first 3 Castlevania games. Yeah. Like the lore, like there's I don't care.
Yeah. So this seems like it is taking some of the picking and choosing where it takes its game lore from. So Trevor Belmont was from Castlevania 3, and I think Rondo of Blood maybe. He's the last son of the Belmont family, kind of deal, and he's your protagonist. He's kind of like a smarmy guy who's like, oh, I'm just a fool, but then he gets serious when people are in danger. Kind of typical.
Got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
he's like the last of the Belmont clan. The Belmonts were like excommunicated and deemed as like evil for dealing with monsters and such.
But they're really trying to help people. But I was honestly most surprised by how gory and intense this show is. It is like you are seeing dudes get ripped in half and guts spraying out. You're seeing eyes ripped out of sockets.
There's a nice scene where like Trevor comes into town and like at night is when like all these attacks happen and the monsters are like putting people on stakes and shit and like stringing up intestines. But there's a cool shot with Trevor walking in like the next morning and like shopkeepers are like taking brooms to get intestines down off the top of their shop. It's pretty good.
Real good whips. Good whip animations. He whips a dude's finger off to disarm him once, and that looks really fucking cool. But pretty good like fight animation.
Was it animated in Japan?
It seemed like all U.S. production.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of people say it's got like a real like Western anime.
Yeah. So all the character designs
doesn't sound very kind.
Yeah.
All the character designs have that kind of Western anime style, but it moves like a Japanese anime. It kind of has a lot of quick cuts and like blurred movement and stuff like that. But it's only 4 episodes. It sets the scene for, I would say, a good 3 or 4 seasons of this if they kind of keep at this pace.
Did I say they've already said that they are doing season 2 and it'll be twice as many episodes?
Didn't I say they're like trickling these episodes out in a weird way? Isn't this only like the first half of season 1?
So this is technically this is technically season 1.
It's only like what 3 episodes right now?
4.
4. Okay.
But yeah, season 2 is going to be twice as many episodes, and it's coming soon. They announced it, but it's also coming soon. But yeah, I mean, it's fan servicey. It takes itself seriously, but those games always do take themselves super seriously. And there's just enough levity in there to kind of keep me interested. Because if it was all dark and broody and gore and stuff, I wouldn't be into it. But
you're not 15 anymore.
Yeah, the main character is enough of a smart ass that I'm like, okay, I can watch you do this for some more time.
Does anyone whip a wall and make chicken make
not
roasts,
yet, but
like food fall out of it?
I wouldn't be
would that be?
surprised.
Would that be totally out of place in the show? Or could they get away with it? Could they find a way to make that work?
In one of the first scenes of the first episode, Dracula cries bloody tears. So anything can happen.
I guess so.
You have to check this out.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Sounds all right.
4 episodes. They're each about 20 minutes a pop. So yeah,
in and out.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's it. No games.
Just Soda.
Yeah. What has been going on with the servers?
It seems more stable. From what I understand.
Okay. It's been kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Like to the point that I couldn't play it.
You think they would want to fix that with everyone getting real excited about the big international.
Yeah, it seems like a bad time for
the one time of year
servers to be off.
Really matters for it to be totally on fire.
And they dropped the player cards and
oh, did they?
Yeah. So I think the last thing is Treasure 3 that hasn't come out.
Yes.
But that's it.
Yeah, we're almost there.
I played a little bit of Splatoon 2, but not enough to really say anything too meaningful about. It's the game's not out yet, so like the stuff you want to do in Splatoon 2 is not available, and stuff like that. I will be interested to see that game Like now that I've messed around with it a little bit and kind of seen how it operates without a server connection and all that other stuff, I'm like, I wonder like how cool is this game going to be on the Switch for people who think about the Switch as very much it's with me all the time. Like there will be a lot of situations where you might not have any internet access. Like what is that game then, and all that stuff. Like the single player, and like how people will take to some of those other modes and stuff.
Can you talk about what the single player is?
So far, I mean, it's got more stuff in it that I have not seen. Like the first couple of levels that I've seen in the single player have been a lot like the single player stuff from the first game.
Oh, because I thought they were expanding that stuff.
They have, but it starts out
similar kind of.
It's very much like, hey, get through this level, get through it quickly if you can. It's like here's some great to this, paint up here.
I guess there's only so many ways.
Like they're obstacle courses.
Yeah, there's only so many ways you can take a multiplayer game and shoehorn it into single player levels, right?
Well, unless
like they'd have to come up with a kind of a slight, like a different type of game,
or just like depends on what they want to do with the enemy AI or placement or something like that. But it is obviously like a very different type of game, single player, than it is multi.
Yeah. How's it look?
It looks really nice. I have not played it on a television. I don't. The Switch has become the thing I do when I'm waiting for something else to happen in a lot of cases, where they're like, oh, my monitor's taken up. I'm doing a thing over here. I'm going to grab this and play some of this.
Does it at least live on the dock, I assume?
Yeah, I throw it on the dock. The firmware update, the last firmware update, seems to have fixed the problem where it kept triggering my TV to pop up and say, hey, do you want to switch inputs? Like, fucking no. So I think they fixed that. I don't know if they fixed it for everybody. I saw some people saying that it was still happening to them, but I have not had the issue. Yeah, it's a nice looking game, but a lot of that is a visual aesthetic thing, and that's the first game looked fantastic too, so that shouldn't be too surprising.
When's it out?
A
while, right?
End of this month, somewhere a couple weeks.
Okay, all right.
But yeah,
let's check back then.
I'm looking forward to seeing that thing once. Well, I guess they did their demo thing.
Splatfest.
Yeah, that's coming up. I think that's this weekend. So some opportunity to play.
I'm gonna hop on and play some of that.
Yeah,
I watched some of the competitive Splatoon that they had at E3.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that too.
That was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
yeah, just it being presented in that way. I don't know. I've always just like gone in there and just just fucking splatted everything, just had fun with it. But yeah, there's some strategy to that game for
Team
sure.
USA brought it home, baby.
Yeah,
did they?
Yeah.
Do you think so? They've got ARMS, which they tried to kind of put out there as like a competitive multiplayer kind of event type game.
Yeah.
They've got this. They've got Pokken Tournament coming out for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think at some point they've got so many of those? Because I feel like, I know I've been saying it, and I feel like it's kind of just become this conventional wisdom of just like, well, they're going to announce Smash Brothers. But do you wonder, I started thinking like now they have like 3 games that all kind of fit that slot to varying degrees of success. None of them are as big as Smash Brothers.
That's the
very
thing.
Different games though. Like even the difference between Pokken and like Smash. Fighting games.
But I wonder if like how many games can Nintendo try to support as competitive multiplayer games at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Like does this suddenly make a case for like, oh, actually maybe Smash Brothers won't happen this year. Maybe it will be an off. A more distant thing.
I could see it not happening this year, just because of ARMS and Splatoon 2 both coming out this year, and Pokken. Have they announced a date for that? Is it supposed to be this year?
This year, yeah.
So yeah, I could see it being a later thing, but the longer they wait, and if it is just a remaster of 4, like.
Yeah, like what is the existing 4 fan base? Like,
it's growing. It's definitely It's the second highest game at Evo for entrance. So in a practical like FGC esports scene, it is growing.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like it kind of got a little bit of a slow start. Is that accurate?
It definitely did.
People weren't super quick to warm up to it.
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, there's the people who are going to never not like Melee first. But even with that, like, it's discovering a new game, discovering what makes it really flow at a high competitive level takes time. The meta develops really quickly at first and then starts to slow down and then waits for major breakthroughs, like, major characters to come out or like a new combo or something that really changes everything. And so it's definitely seems like it has grown. Like, personally, it is. I didn't really care much for it at release, but I am interested to see what happens at EVO. They've had plenty of Smash 4 exclusive tournaments that have been really fun. And the cool thing about that is, like, there's lots of upsets. It's not kind of the same thing you've been seeing with Melee, where it's the same top 3 people winning everything. Smash 4 seems to be like a young man's game where there's people coming out of nowhere, like Japanese players just showing up and bodying everyone, and that's always really cool to see in a competitive scene.
Cool. Have they said anything about a Switch game yet? No. Like, not a peep, right?
No, it was. There were a lot of leaks prior to the Switch announcement, and that was attached to it, as was Mario Kart, and the Mario Kart stuff all panned out,
like
and a lot of those other leaks panned out in a way you're like, yeah, they'll do it.
The dude who leaked all of, maybe not all of, but most of the DLC characters for Smash 4 before they came out was like, this is definitely happening.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that's the only thing he's been wrong, quote unquote, on. So who knows?
And it seems like the most fucking obvious thing in the world that they would do it, especially in the wake of them doing Mario Kart and Pokken. Like, of course, they're...
How long has it been, though, since that last one came out?
Well, the 3DS one came out like 6 years before the Wii U one. Gosh, yeah, it had to be like 2 years.
Okay. So short enough for a remaster to make sense.
Yeah.
As opposed to a whole new game. Is Evo a big enough deal to them that they would save an announcement like that for their?
Probably not. As opposed to E3?
They've had a weird relationship, I think. With
They did try and shut them streaming Melee down 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. So who knows? But now they're like sponsoring it.
And Nintendo has other games that they're trying to be competitive. Like, clearly they are more aware of like the concept of a scene around a release. Yeah. So,
but you wouldn't like go into Evo expecting them to just like, by the way, here's Smash on the Switch.
I wouldn't expect it, but it also seems like a pretty logical thing for them to do.
It's the second build game right now, so if at Evo, so maybe that is a good spot for them. Who knows?
All right.
And I remembered one actual video game to talk about, and it's Goner.
Yeah, I saw you tweeting about that.
Yeah,
when I was out of town.
We did a quick look. You can check out what it looks like. It's also been out on PC for close to a year. Came out in October of last year, but it came out on Switch a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm totally into it. I see a lot of people who kind of liked, this is my Downwell. This is my Spelunky for this year. This is my game that I am consistently running,
super hard run based,
slightly getting better at, but still getting really frustrated at.
I see it's a game about cheering people up or something. Did I read a weird description
that's
of that
all
thing?
Video games, Brad.
Yeah, of course.
That's no video game.
Oh no.
You definitely like have little happy emotes that pop out at you sometimes, or death kind of gives you little smiley faces once in a while, but mostly it's about murder.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
cheering people up.
Yeah.
It's a 2D, procedurally generated game. There's like 4 or 5 levels and then a boss fight, and then 4 or 5 levels and a boss fight. I've gotten to the 3rd world. It's fucking hard. You unlock upgrades, which you can equip at the start of your run, so you kind of basically figure out, spend some time figuring out what your loadout is. And the weapons you unlock along the way make earlier levels easy, so there's not necessarily a skip like Spelunky where you're skipping straight to World 3, but by the time you have the weapons and stuff from World 2, you can just breeze through those first 2 worlds pretty much untouched.
Do you think they'll pull something off where, like, the last world or final boss is best defeated with the first weapon, so that if you, like, basically, like, yeah, you can unlock these weapons to get through these early stages, but then, that's kind of a cheap way to get there and you'll be fucked at the end?
I can see that totally happening because the first like special power you get is a clip basically that will reload your main weapon infinitely, and maybe like the last boss doesn't give you any extra ammo, because like that's the thing about fighting all the bosses, they are main bosses, but then there's a lot of like little minions that you can kill to get ammo drops and stuff like that, so maybe who knows that actually ends up working out.
That's what I would do. I'd really fuck people over.
Yeah, that's not bad. And then there's like secret levels I keep stumbling upon. So I don't think it's as deep as Spelunky was, but this is definitely scratching that same itch. And I hope to beat it by year's end because I'm really enjoying it.
Scratch that itch on the Switch.
Yeah, something's gotta.
Jason.
Yo,
what
up? What's going on? Not too much to add. I played a little bit more of that Fire Pro that Jeff mentioned. I'm really glad that there's a tutorial mode. I do want to add that it's fucking tough. So when you lock up with somebody, right, you have to hit a button at a specific time. You can't do it too early, can't do it too late, otherwise they'll reverse you. And it almost seems frame specific. And I was having the hardest fucking time doing this, and it was so frustrating. So when you get 3 or 4 tutorials in, you're at a point where it's like, okay, you have to lock up, you have to throw them against the ropes, then you have to like reverse it. Sounds easy enough, right? But if you mess up like that first lockup, dude's gonna body slam you. And because it's so frame specific, I'm having a really hard time with it for whatever reason. I think they need to open the windows on that a little bit more before it's fun. But as it stands right now, fuck, I'm no good at that game, and I don't know. My timing's not that bad.
You guys need to get together for some wrestling school.
Something.
Sounds like you need to get good.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's an option.
It's like at the core of it.
That's always an option.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
No?
No. Getting good? No.
Play for about 30,
wait
for 45 minutes a week.
Yeah.
But it seems like, this is like a fan-made kind of fucking Fire Pro Wrestling. It seems like, it's got the stuff that a fan would want, as far as, the heart of that series has always been like the customization and shit like that. So
Alex seemed pretty excited about it, which is my barometer for how much it matters, I guess.
Yeah.
He's back. He's gonna check in on that thing pretty soon here. For the site. So
other than that, I finally got a Ratchet and Clank, the new one, the remaster.
Oh yeah,
as it were,
from last year, or was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like
that was last year, right?
That sounds right. But,
damn good looking game.
Yeah,
it is.
So I hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could, I sat on a quick look, and I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, sure, I get it. But like actually playing at home, like on my TV and stuff, I had never really gotten into a Ratchet and Clank game before, but I'm just looking for something, that Griffin will watch.
Yeah.
And he's totally into it. So.
Did you move up to a pro, or are you still on the regular?
No, still on the regular. Yeah. But looks and
still holding up.
Yeah, looks and plays great.
They've been running sales like non-freaking stop.
On the Pro or
no, on PSN.
Oh,
like I feel like every day people are tweeting about another flash sale, and it's just like
they've got the midsummer sale going on. Right now. I think I got Ratchet and Clank for like $10.
Yeah, like all these big retail games, like $10 or less.
Yeah, Steam's got their summer sale. Well, had their summer sale, I guess, but Xbox is having one right now as well.
Yeah,
it's good cheap shit out there.
Yeah, cool.
And then today's the day for Sub-Zero in Injustice 2.
Hey,
oh cool.
Oh man, he's got a cape now.
What? Sure.
Yeah, because
that makes sense. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
he wants to fit in.
He's the ultimate superhero.
Pauldrons and a goddamn cape.
Yeah,
one in Rome.
I have not tried him yet. When we're done doing this, I'm gonna go download that.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Have they announced any other MK characters for that thing?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Striker. Just Striker.
Yes. Yeah. The only one that matters.
Yeah.
They heard our prayers.
Yes. I was thinking, since we just hit July, we're halfway through the year, like we kind of get questions practically every week. I don't know why people have Game of the Year on the brain so much this year, but people are always saying like, "Where are you guys at with Game of the Year?" Like,
it's been a good front part of the
what's
year.
I don't know that I want to get into like, what's everybody's front runner, because obviously there's plenty of year left, but like a lot of people are just curious, like, okay, what have you played so far? What's still on your backlog?
Sure.
So like, I didn't mention it earlier, but I did put like another 3 or 4 hours into Nier over the weekend.
Okay. Yeah, like that's the type of stuff. Like people are always saying, just like, oh, what do you have to go at this point? Like how many games do you still have to get through? And stuff?
I need to ask you when we're done here how far into the A route I am, because if I'm not close to where it's going to end, I don't know how much more Nier I'm going to play.
Oh no.
I have a feeling from what you're talking about, you probably are, but we'll talk.
Yeah,
I think Nier might be because I've got a stack, and I think that might be the thing I'm going to move on to next.
It's really fucking good.
Start getting through stuff.
And I am utterly bored by the gameplay at this point. Like it's not something like you can adjust the difficulty. Like turning it up to hard doesn't make it better.
No, I don't.
It's not.
You want to go
to another
weapon combos?
If anything, it's just like, well, I'm gonna like dumb my way through it on easy or something, and just to see the stuff, because the stuff is good, but. Yeah, I don't know. The stuff, I'm starting to see more and more of where it's heading, and it's good, but also the way they hit you over the head with some of the themes of it. You're like, I get it. This thing is this thing. I'm not. I get it. It's fine. You don't need to keep. Okay. Yeah, it's really cool, but if it doesn't get like amazing on the revelation front pretty soon here, like I don't know how much more I'll want to stick with it.
I feel like if you're close to finishing, and like if you're not immediately pulled in by the first couple hours of the second playthrough, I would say like you could probably put it down if that's not grabbing you.
All right.
Got anything else outstanding that, like you reviewed Horizon? So
I did,
I gotta hit that.
Horizon's good. I don't really think about it anymore.
Really?
Like I finished it and it was really good.
Really?
And it has not come up.
In your head?
Yeah. I enjoyed it and moved on.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I actually did play a little more Zelda last week. and at this point, it had been so long since I had played Zelda that I forgot how to play it.
That's exactly where I am.
I picked it back up, and I was like, oh, right. I got to like the third boss. I got to like the desert boss, and then was just like, oh, fuck this fight. It's just not fun, and set it down. And so picking it back up and being in that dungeon going like, fuck, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Sure.
So I like quit out of there to just go wander around some more, and I was like, I don't want to do this either. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like Zelda is my biggest like thing I need to finish for this year, but I just don't have it in me to keep playing it like I was. I picked it back up, and I kind of spent just an hour like messing with the controls, remembering all the powers and stuff like that, and I walked into a shrine, and I was like, I don't know how to do anything. And so I don't know if I just need to like start over on the Switch because I wasn't too far into it to begin with. But like, man, it's not grabbing me. Maybe I just have to like push through that initial part. But there's something about it, there's too much to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just so overwhelmed and don't know. And like, you know, I talk to people who put like 120 hours into the game, and they're like, I've done everything. I'm going back and doing it again on hard mode. And then I don't think I'm ever going to get that passionate. But I remember just feeling immensely drawn in by it when I started, and putting it down and not having that drive to go back.
It's a game with a lot of false starts, because I will set my sights on doing something, and halfway to getting there I see something else, and then I run over to check that out, and it's just like this like nonstop rotation.
That was the best stuff I did in that game.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like a little too much.
I
mean maybe whatever, it's like a self-discipline problem of like, all right, I need to ignore all that stuff and just keep going and do the thing I set out to do, but like it's so easy to just...
It's just weird that I'm feeling more and more like and not to say that they're bad, but I feel like the structured parts of that game, the dungeons, the beasts, whatever you want to call them, are the worst part of that game.
I only did one of those so far in like 60 hours or whatever, but that was easily the worst.
Like they're novel.
It was okay.
You know, like they're mechanically interesting, and there's depth to them, and that's neat. I think those boss fights are fucking terrible.
Yeah. Like I did the elephant, like that thing. Like there's some neat integration with the map, the in-game map, and I was just like, oh, that's a clever idea, but it was still like kind of the most rote thing that I've done in that game so far.
Yeah.
It's kind of not what I was looking for out of that game.
And so like them saying like, oh, we're doing DLC and putting in even more stuff. I'm like, I'm not sure that I want to do the stuff that you've got in it already. So I don't know.
The one thing in that first DLC that I'm interested in is is it called the Trial of the Sword? Like that kind of hard challenge, like
tower?
That. Whatever. I'm not sure
Combat
exactly how it's structured, but like that sounds like maybe a distillation of what's interesting about that game. You know, like let's just throw a bunch of different stuff, like mechanical stuff, into a room and let you suss out how like what the best way is to solve it. Like that could be cool. But do you have anything else, Ben, like on your stack?
I gotta finish Horizon. I want to play Prey. I've heard enough people get really passionate about that game.
Yeah.
I think I want to
play. I definitely want to play more Prey.
But yeah, other than that, I've just been. I want to play more Tekken because I've been having a lot of fun with Tekken, especially if that weird like Guilty Gear leak turns out to be anything.
Yeah.
Where in a recent patch there were some files for like burst, air dash, something and something,
Advanced Guard.
And Harada was at ARC recently for business meetings.
Huh.
So it's looking like there might be a Guilty Gear character coming to Tekken, which would make me really excited.
It's weird.
I don't think Akuma would work, but
totally. Yeah.
So
keep pushing their look, I guess.
We'll see about that. And the online is stable enough now that I've been able to get some matches, but I really want to play.
I've heard really bad stuff about the online.
Yeah, it's still not perfect. Okay, but I have found some matches, which is more than I was at release.
Did RE7 come out this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
I should play that.
I kind of want I want to do that in VR and kind of see what that's about.
If Dead Cells actually comes out of early access this year, I'm good.
High on the list for you.
It'd be pretty high on the list.
Also, like Battlegrounds is where I feel about that.
Well, I think that's the elephant in the room. Like I was kind of not going to bring that up, but if that doesn't come out this year, it's going to be really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't know. Like building a like must play list for Game of the Year is this weird mix of like keeping your ear to the ground for kind of what the general public consensus is, but also like thinking about everybody at this site and like what their interests are, and it's like, okay, what do I need to know about that other people are going to bring up,
right?
That I might not have played otherwise.
I'm totally fine with being the only person here who plays Goner, right? And that game is going to be very important to me this year. I can already tell like that, but I'm not like bringing this like, guys, everyone needs to download this $9.99 roguelike 2D platformer. It's going to blow your mind.
Or also, it came out last year, so
it came out on the Switch.
Came out on the Switch this year.
Nope. But it's like I want to check out Persona 5, but I'm also gauging that against. But like I'm gauging.
How could I have forgotten Persona 5?
Right, but I'm gauging that against how much you seem to care about it. Because if even you aren't going to go to bat for it, and I'm just like, maybe
that game's got a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah.
The game itself, playing it, is not necessarily one of them.
Okay, all right, that tells me a lot of what I need to know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a weird year.
I'll play you some of the songs later, and you'll be into it.
Yeah. It feels like every notable game this year is like 60 to 80 hours long. So
that's super rough for me.
Juggling your time with all that stuff is
and Neo came out this year,
trick.
Right?
It did.
Neo.
Like I
don't sleep on Neo.
I need to check that game out.
I should play Neo.
That's probably going to come up.
Neo's cool.
It's just like every year, it's like October or so rolls around, and it's like, oh god, I have to start.
We have that mad rush.
Getting through all this stuff. I need to put like 5 hours into everything that came out.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier today where I turned to him and said, "It's fucking October now." Basically, in terms of like how much of the year is left and how long it takes to get anything done. Like it might as well be October right fucking now.
Yeah.
So
what are the big stuff on the horizons? We got Mario.
Oh, you mean going forward?
Yeah.
October 27th is like Mario, Assassin's Creed, Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
What else is big this year? Assassin's Creed, if you're... Oh, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
No, I want, like, big, good games coming out.
Crackdown is out this year.
Yes.
Forza.
Okay.
That Uncharted weird semi-sequel.
That's like August. That's pretty soon
pretty
here.
So, yeah, there's still... I mean, I think Mario and Wolfenstein are, like, the big ones, right?
Those are definitely big factors.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Destiny 2.
Yeah.
That beta is starting... this month.
Let's not write that off yet.
Yeah, not yet. Gosh,
could be a thing.
Okay.
Call of Duty. I mean,
Battlefield 2.
Battlefield 2. There's still games.
I'm really. This is the first time I've been excited for a Call of Duty game, maybe since 4-2. Right? Yeah. Because like I don't give a damn about modern Call of Duty stuff, but I really loved those World War II Call of Duty games. Call of Duty 2 was my first and probably still my favorite like Call of Duty experience in a weird way. I got it way late. Like 4 was already out when I got 2.
Oh, wow.
I got it in like a bargain bin, you know. I played through it and loved it and played through it like 2.5 times.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about that one.
Did you guys mention NAC 2?
No.
How did we forget NAC 2?
I thought I would save the most important one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, NAC 2.
Okay.
Best style, best music, best NAC.
Yep.
Weirdly enough,
there's 2 of them now. So
runner up. It's only a nominee for best NAC. So
there's several NACs to choose from this time. All right, let's get into the news of the last week or so, such as it is. But there's not much. It's the dog days of summer. Here's what I have for you. There was a Nintendo Direct last week. I guess they showed off that phone app they have coming out.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's some of the
name of which is, I think they're just calling it Nintendo Switch Online.
Sure.
Seems to be the name of this service.
I guess.
I guess this seems potentially kind of cool. It looks like did you guys see this at all?
Not really.
Like it looks like they're basically going to have like siloed off little like game-specific areas of that app that you can load into.
Which I thought when I first saw some of the screenshots and how Splatoon specific some of it was, I was like, oh man, if they make people download a separate app for every single game, this is like even more fucking insane.
And even more Nintendo.
Yeah. That would be pretty bad. It looks like, so they're calling it Splatnet 2. And it sounds like, it's part of that main app that they're putting out. You just like hit a button and launch this separate little area.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the best parts of Splatoon was the like little world where you could like the Miiverse stuff in a weird way where you could like had that hub world and you could leave messages.
Did you see apparently like they recreated a bunch of that functionality just in Splatoon 2 because it's not at the system level anymore, which is really sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. This app stuff sounds kind of cool. Like you're gonna be able to look at like like match history and statistics and a bunch of like really drilled down data stuff. You're going to be able to buy cosmetics in the app and just like pick them up in the. I don't know that that's with real money. I took that to mean like in-game unlocks.
It is still Nintendo. I don't. Like, they're not the biggest cosmetic.
They're not. But look at the mobile games they've released
until
recently.
now.
I didn't take that to mean monetized hats, but maybe you're right. I don't
know, dude.
I mean, Splatoon is a game about fashion and staying fresh, and what better way to stay fresh than to always buy new hats?
Yeah, maybe so. Like I don't know. On the one hand, I kind of like this idea of like game specific.
Yeah,
things
totally,
like on your phone that if you're really serious about Splatoon, you can keep up with a lot of like really specific information there.
And if it is just like one big app, that's nice too. Because I was looking, like I still have the fucking Destiny app installed, and I'm just like, this thing's dumb. Why is this shouldn't need to exist?
Yeah.
This should just be a system level thing for stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
like they're going to be pushing out info on like scheduled events, upcoming match stuff.
And Splatoon 1 is very big about that. Like, hey, this weekend is this versus
Cat
this. Like,
versus
get in there.
dogs.
Get in there and do it.
Potentially seems like kind of a cool idea, but on the other hand, maybe all that stuff should just be in the game.
Yeah, you would hope that most of this functionality would also be in the game.
Yeah.
If it's app exclusive, then I think that's maybe some of the stats and drill down stuff like that's fine. But
so maybe it actually ends up working in their favor because they have this dedicated team presumably working on this regardless of the game. So you don't have like you have these people getting really good at this app stuff on the phone, and they bring it to new games and they iterate and kind of learn what works for certain games and what doesn't. I could see it actually being maybe really cool.
But I think that they end up having to work in tandem for that stuff to be really actually good.
Yes.
Like that when they did Call of Duty Elite, like that whole service was based on like, what if you had a phone app that you could really look at your stats and change your loadouts and shit. And when they had enough people working on the phone stuff to make it good, it was finally like, oh well, good. I mean, to where like it felt like functional. You're like, okay, you've put some things in here. You've clearly thought this through. I could see someone getting real value out of this. But it seems like even that took time for them to really get there. So and the game had to have the hooks in place for them to draw that data out. So it's not just something that they can work on siloed off. They have to be like, hey, make sure you expose this data, make sure you expose this data so we can pull it and all that other shit. I don't know.
The thing is out on the 21st.
Yeah.
Which is pretty soon. Is that the same day as Splatoon?
Probably.
Is that when they switch over to paid?
I was going to ask when the cutoff date for the
having to pay?
free, yeah.
Next year.
I thought it was through the end of the year you get it for free. So
that's cool that you can use this for a while.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah, try it out. And I assume that thing will work retroactively with like Mario Kart and stuff. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Seems like it should
in a short number of days. This will probably give you an idea of how little has been going on in the last week. They announced that you're going to be able to import your save from Shadow of Mordor into the new game.
Yeah,
to some degree. Or at least your nemesis. I don't know how much.
It's two things. It's like your top nemesis and your top follower, I think, are the things that they'll pull over.
Okay.
Can you guys name your top nemesis?
Oh God, I remember what he looked like.
Oh really?
He was.
I was gonna say I don't really remember.
He was scrawny. Anymore. He was one of the like skinnier, scrawnier dudes.
How many times did he kill?
I cannot remember his name. I don't know, but he ended the game with like half of his face was metal.
Nice.
Like I chopped off an ear and he had lost an eye and stuff. He was pretty gnarly looking.
That's cool. That's that ties very much into their whole thing, right? Is to make those choices or make those things matter. Like, they should do that.
My greatest nemesis is myself.
Yeah. It's just a picture of you, just going like, you're not good enough. You're bad at.
Why can't you be like better? You
look like poop.
I look like poop, and I'm you.
Yeah, because deep. It sounds like that's going to be handled with an app.
Why?
Not a phone app. Like it sounds like you're gonna have to download a thing and maybe upload your save to a server, which you'll then pull back. The point is,
I think it's something. Save? I thought they were patching it into Shadow of Mordor. You would go in there and hit upload.
This says you have to download something called the Nemesis Forge.
Okay,
which is out now, and you can download, and it will transfer your shit somehow.
Weird.
The point is, I wonder if that's going to let you then play it on a different platform later. Like maybe it uploads that stuff.
Oh, that'd be nice.
To like the Warner Brothers servers, and then you can just download it into any version of the new game instead of being stuck on the same platform you played before. That's just a guess, but that's kind of a neat feature. Man, it's pretty dry out there.
Yeah, no, it's I've been doing the stuff for radio, and like, what's a big mainstreamy kind of story to pull? Like last week, I think I was just like, summer's slow, but there are still some games coming out. Splatoon 2's coming up. I'm looking forward to this.
Cool off with the cool games summer.
Yeah.
God, dude, like it was hard finding relevant news stories for this podcast this week. I can't remember. I mean, I can't imagine how you address like a mainstream audience with like anything that matters.
Well, sometimes I just like pick esoteric shit that I care about because I think it's really funny. The idea of like
this would be on the radio.
14 million people or however many people hear this thing or
you were
can
talking about
hear it.
Trackmania?
Yes, nice. Totally.
Wow.
It's just like, nope, I'm going to deliver Trackmania to the masses single-handedly. Here we go. Someone on Twitter just over the weekend said, "I heard you on the radio," and I was like, "That's like the third time that's ever happened." So, I know it's out there.
Somebody still listens to the radio.
Someone's still listening to the radio.
It's out. It's in the air.
It's
all around us.
Yeah,
at all times. You could be listening to the radio at any moment
or whatever. You might pick it up in your brain.
Yeah, that's right. Did you guys talk about this latest Mass Effect Andromeda thing out of the Kotaku Unearthed?
Probably not. I don't
Is
remember.
it the patch where they're trying to make it look better?
No, this was probably. I don't know.
It's all of them at this point.
It got patched again. I saw. I don't know what it did.
We ended up picking up because we recorded the last podcast like the Friday before the 4th, so it was only like 3 days since the last podcast. So there was a little bit of news, but not much.
Okay,
so I don't remember honestly.
I mean, this is they had that Schreier over there had that like kind of deep dive into what went wrong with that game, and he kind of followed that up with this like short report from probably some of the same sources.
I think we did cover the no single player.
Yes, that was the thing because that's been kind of
the fake company that was out there saying that they were going to. Okay. Yes, we covered that.
So he confirmed that company was full of shit, but the thing they were saying is accurate, even though they were wrong about it or whatever.
Because of course it is. Like what?
But I kind of wanted to just tell you what the DLC was going to be because it's so fucking obvious at the end of that game. Like, does anybody care? Like, is it even a spoiler if they're never going to make it?
I mean, if you're gonna have to spoil the end of Mass Effect Andromeda,
it's nothing to do with the ending.
Okay,
at all.
Then go for it.
Like there's a throwaway line like 2 hours into that game or whatever, because there was like a ship for each of the big Mass Effect races that showed up in Andromeda.
Oh right, yeah.
There's like one line of dialogue and it's like so contrived where they're just like the Quarians and the Elcor and the Hanar and the Volus.
They'll come later.
Well, but specifically they're like, they were all on one other arc and it never showed up, and it's just like, man, like, what an efficient way to like cut the number of races you have to model for your game in half. So there's a terminal like post game, like when you like re-enter the world and you can just roam or whatever after the credits roll. Like there's a computer terminal that spawns that you walk up to, and there's just this text report on it, and it's just like priority message. Like we've gotten word from the Quarian Ark, like they're trapped in the something nebula.
Yeah.
And it's just like the most obvious fucking DLC bait. Ever. It's like, okay, all right, this is where all those other races are going to show up. Like, we'll see you in 3 months, I guess. But
that sucks that they're never going to make it out of that nebula.
I know, they're just going to be trapped there for eternity now.
It's probably for the best that they're there instead of anywhere near any of this other stuff.
Yeah.
We're cool here, actually.
Yeah, we're just going to hang out in this nebula.
You can stay over there.
We talk well.
Our faces are normal.
What count as faces for some of these?
Sure.
Hanar.
I don't know. I was morbidly curious about what DLC for that game would look like, but not gonna happen. Also, I'm missing like 6 trophies in that game, and
don't do that.
That would be a really bad use of my time.
Don't do that. What?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on to emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address. Read a few of them. They came in.
We took a lot of emails last show. Yeah. We got some good ones.
Got a good number since then, such as this one from Johnny in Oregon.
Good old Johnny, Oregon.
What's up, Johnny? I discovered a website that lets you search the first tweet to ever contain a specific text string. Its most legitimate use is to find out who first tweeted a joke that's then been stolen hundreds of times, but you can put whatever you want in there. I entered the word Zelda in the search box and was surprised to find that Giant Bomb's own Jeff Gersman was the first person to ever tweet about Zelda. The tweet reads as follows: "Spent the day playing the new Zelda game, currently watching Mr. Show, getting ready to go to sleep." November 13th, 2006.
I think that is the first thing I ever tweeted as well. Because like when you signed up for Twitter, like I didn't know anyone else was using it, so I was like, how the fuck do I even use this
What
thing?
do you do with this?
That sounds like a 2006
I'm just going to fucking
Yeah.
type some
I'm
bullshit
gonna
into
type,
this thing.
I'm going
and-
to type what I'm doing right now.
guess,
Here is
and-
my status update.
and then hit go, and yeah. And then there's probably like, I bet like a multiple month break somewhere around those first few tweets where I'm just like, oh, fuck this thing. And then eventually was like, oh, I guess this matters now.
People seem to care about this.
And then I changed my name to my name and all that other shit.
Remember what Mr. Show you're watching?
No.
God, that would have been Twilight Princess, wouldn't it? 2006.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Twitter was up that long. I thought they were more 07, 08, something like that. Yeah, he says Twitter had been up for 8 months at that point, and nobody had ever tweeted the word Zelda.
Yep.
So,
How's it feel?
Bad.
this is like when people go back to the Usenet archives
Yeah.
and find the stuff that was going on there. Yeah.
I recently found my first tweet ever, and I just sighed.
Baby steps. Takes a while. Takes a while to hone your tweeting ability.
What was your first tweet? Was it like, how does this work?
It was me complaining because this was back when I worked at a summer camp, and I had long hair, and there was not like long, but like
Okay, it is a requirement of this website that you dig up and post those pictures
I'll
of you with
find
long
it.
hair.
I was mad that a little girl on her first day asked me if I was a boy or a girl.
All right.
Just throw her in the gulag. Yes.
No, I was
You
responsible.
guys have a detention at camp, right?
It was just like, go sit under that tree.
Put her in the brig.
The brig. No rations for you.
That's right.
Exactly. Cut her water in half.
Gotta whip these kids, I guess.
Dan from Pennsylvania. What are the chances that you've said murder or talked about murdering people more than most actual murderers?
Pretty high.
Pretty high, yeah, for sure.
I'd fancy a guess that you're in the 10th percentile of people who have said or talked about murdering. That is my professional internet opinion. Thanks.
I mean, I only do it like once a week.
Yeah. Maybe twice.
Maybe twice.
Yeah, we do say it a lot. I mean, I guess if you're a successful murderer, you don't really talk about it much, right?
Yeah, real killers don't talk. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Don't put your business in the streets. No, I don't. Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna say that's almost definitely true.
Probably cops say it more than like detectives and police officers.
Yeah, there are probably a lot of cops and lawyers and
Yeah.
judges that
They probably don't say murder though.
Do they?
right?
Yeah, they say like 187 or
Yeah.
something.
say it's a murder one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He went down for murder one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends of murderers probably say
Yeah,
murder
friends
a
of
lot.
murderers.
Oh, you think the fucking hangers on?
yeah.
They like to brag about it a lot. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know
Actors
those.
on any Law and Order
Okay. Yeah.
series.
Sure.
Can we? I'm gonna start calling it Moida Island.
Moida?
Moida Island.
Please don't.
Murder most foul.
Moida.
Ugh. Every time you say it, I just get a little more repulsed.
Moida. You just gotta go as high as you can.
I like the way this guy signs his email. Taylor of Nova Scotia writes in.
Mm-hmm.
Is stuffed crust pizza the Royal Rumble of pizza?
In what regard?
I love the idea of stuffed crust pizza. You think of it, and it's a world of potential. You imagine Marty Jannetty showing up. It sounds dumb, and it would be dumb, but also amazing. And Kenny Omega making his debut.
Yeah, that'd be dumb.
Then Roman Reigns comes out at number 30, and you have cheese in your pizza crust that has the texture of pencil erasers.
If you let it go like lukewarm,
The
yeah.
first
Fast.
piece of stuffed crust pizza is good. Every
Fantastic.
subsequent piece is bad.
It's too late.
Yeah.
I
You've
still
passed
wouldn't
the-
even say bad. I still think it's absolutely delicious. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
I honestly
get it.
can't think of the last
It's
time
It's
I
been
had
a
couple,
it.
like-
long time.
Where do you
fucking
get your
marinara?
stuffed crust pizza from?
So DiGiorno's is actually pretty good,
they
but we
do
don't
one?
have a Pizza Hut that delivers to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got to go the DiGiorno's route.
Can you get like, I don't know, a Pizza Hut or whatever, like a stuffed crust and all the time thing? Because I
Yeah.
always thought it was like a McRib sort of like special.
I think they now do it around the
Okay.
clock.
Yeah.
I feel like when they first came up with it, it was
Yeah.
like limited time, like get cheese in your
I
crust.
think
That's a staple
Little
now.
Caesars has a stuffed crust.
They
now.
did. I don't think it's out anymore. That was a limited.
I feel like I
thing.
just saw an ad
Fuck, it's
recently.
back!
Yeah, I think it might be back now.
There is a Little Caesars near me.
Yeah.
Which is better, the stuffed crust from Pizza Hut or the bacon crust from Pizza Hut?
You can do both.
Isn't that just a different kind of stuffed crust?
Yeah, it's just
No.
bacon in the cheese.
No, it's all bacon.
Oh.
It's like
You're still
Just-
It's like a, what, is it, like a
Just-
fucking hot tube of
it's,
bacon?
It's like
they call
it's
that a
like
sausage.
woven bacon crust.
Okay.
A
Bacon weave.
bacon weave. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's bad.
That's
I got a bacon
It's
weave every
gimmicky.
weekend.
yeah. It seems
Stupid.
yeah.
Gotta get my bacon did.
Do they still do the hot dogs in the crust? Is that
They never did that here.
Who was that? Just
Japan? Japan thing.
I think they briefly did that here, and then Japan retaliated by like doing, like eggs and hot dogs and stuff in the like. We never got as good as Japan got.
I mean, that's
when we tried to get close. They outclassed us.
That's just the way of things.
Yeah.
Can you just put hot dogs on the pizza?
Yeah.
You can put anything on a pizza.
Yeah.
Also, hot dogs are pizzas, so.
Oh, right.
Put it on the pizza.
All right, then. Thomas writes in from Northwest Missouri. I was wondering if you guys had checked out Salty Bet recently.
Yeah.
I just witnessed a fight between Devil Seaman, yes, based on the Dreamcast game, and even more messed up than what you'd expect, and the painting of Jesus Christ that was restored but completely ruined back in 2014.
Fine art.
Like, fucking, what is Salty Bet?
I lost $450 betting it all on Mudman a couple weeks ago, so I have $0.
Right, all your back to the fucking salt mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they always coming up with weird ass fake characters like that, or did it get weirder over time?
It's definitely like there were always some weird characters for that thing for that software, but it's definitely I'm sure it's gotten weirder now that is probably like the widest use for Mugen, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are people out there making all kinds of wild shit for that.
Yeah,
they're like I was kind of trying to figure it out as I watched it. It seemed there was a very small, passionate community still in it, but now there's like tiers and groupings
and you can
of
spend
fighters.
your salty bucks to raise or lower the HP on a character. Like it got too complicated. I liked it when it was pure, and you could always bet on Goku or never
Always
bet
bet
on
on Swords.
or and all that stuff. And it had to get more complicated, I think, for it to be interesting and fair and all that other stuff. But I miss its original form. And when I watch it now, it's a little.
They should do stuff like double XP weekends or like big themed events. Try and get people back. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, they might. I watch it here and there, but I have not placed a salty bet in a very long time.
Nor have I. There was certainly a time, though, that was just like up on the second monitor all day long.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's another email. When Hulk Hogan went NWO, it shook our world, resulting in one of the all-time great heels, Hollywood Hogan. What video game hero would make a great heel? Good luck with E3, Sean from Toronto. Also, and this email was sent in 7 days ago.
Awesome.
So he means 2018.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake.
He already is a bad guy.
I mean, he's a. But what if you went full bad guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's like
I don't know if he's got it in him.
and cocky.
He's like a heart of gold type of guy, though.
So was Hulk Hogan.
Was he though? was he ever actually that?
In front of the camera. What about the Paragon Commander Shepard? What if what if that was the actual ending of Andromeda? Is somehow Shepard fucking froze himself and flew out there to murder you all. And he was like, "No, I got it. I got the Reaper situation handled, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're done."
I feel like Paragon Shepard going evil would just be a fascist, right? That's basically how that would go.
I mean, that's the Injustice story. That's like Superman.
Oh wow.
Like, yeah,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's
Superman trying to kill criminals before they commit crimes.
Yes,
basically is the whole plot of Injustice.
My first thought was Mario, but I guess they kind of made that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he started as a bad guy. Oh no,
I mean, like Wario is basically Mario in heel form, right?
But also Donkey Kong, like the very second Mario game, Donkey Kong Jr., he is the bad guy.
Okay,
so.
that's true. Yeah.
Okay, I've assembled my team of 3.
Okay.
My video game NWO. Knack from Knack. This time, like the little boy or whoever dies, and it sends him in a dark spiral.
Also, all you gotta do is turn the triangles this way to make the evil eyebrows, and then you're good.
Dan Hibiki from the Street Fighter games.
Yep.
He finally gets enough of the pressure.
He's had it.
He kills Sagat is what happens. He crosses a line and actually kills Sagat for killing his dad, and then Wario becomes just like truly evil because he's always kind of ambivalent, but then he goes full in on like. He crosses a line, like he kills a toad or something, and the 3 of them go off to form video game NWO.
I want to see some murderous rabbits.
Moidas.
Still having their same
they
kind of
gave him
goofy
guns.
personality, but just
like more effective.
People.
Yeah. I think you're gonna get your wish.
Hall and Knack. That's all I have.
All right. Yep. Cal from Toronto. With all the Tekken talk at GB recently, you must all
Welcome back to Tekken Talk.
Yes.
Talking
Tekken for another week. You must all be hyped about Dave Lang's announcement that Yoshimitsu is coming to KI. Links to forum thread. Okay, he only said he wants Yoshimitsu, but if Dave Lang can't get it done, I'm not sure what to believe anymore.
He made Windjammers happen, didn't he?
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
And then he goes on to ask, are any of you actually still playing KI? They've released a few new characters recently, and I'm still having lots of fun with it. Do any of you have favorite characters?
I've literally never played KI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Game is really good. I have a huge amount of respect for it.
Totally.
And I check it out every time that there's a new character, but that's really as
They
far
just
as it
patched
goes.
today. I don't know what they changed, but yeah.
That one Evo comeback is like one of the greatest Evo moments ever.
Yeah, the game's fun to watch, but there's a steep learning curve now because like the tech in that game is just fucking wow. Yeah, it's
like they added the auto combo stuff, but
that's not going to put you at a competitive
yeah,
level
exactly.
or anything like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess they've been iterating on that thing for what, 3 years now.
Yeah.
Like it's bound to get super impenetrable. Did they do guest characters?
Oh yeah, Rash from Battletoads.
Right.
And
Yes.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
totally.
like there is room for
goofiness.
a Tekken character show
Arbiter
up.
from Halo and stuff.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
They should have put Dive into that game.
Oh.
Or failing that, perhaps Kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the fighting game landscape just got crowded.
Yeah. Recently.
There's a lot of fighting games out there.
And most of them are pretty
Well, that's
good.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
vast majority of them are like super serviceable.
But also, it's the time of the year for that stuff. Like there is that kind of like it's the run up to Evo, so your game has to come out if you want it to be played at Evo.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think that informs stuff like the Tekken release date a little bit, and Injustice probably as well.
That's fair. Let's see here. Ken from Queens. You're experts on everything.
Exactly.
What-
Ask away.
What was the first game to feature a character who talks?
Psycho Soldier, right? I think I know this, and I think I think that's the game with the first voice lines.
Wizard of War probably would have come before that.
Okay.
Maybe
Maybe this was the first one with like a song, because I remember it came.
yeah.
I downloaded a ROM dump at some
yeah.
point, and I found that game.
Right.
Not knowing anything about it, I was like, I really like this song, and I looked it up, and I remember reading something about it. It was one of the first.
Yeah.
Maybe not the first.
Wasn't there some 2600 game that managed to have some kind of voice sample
Wasn't it
ish
Berserk?
thing in there?
No,
Evil Lato
Berserk
say
on the
something?
2600 didn't have it, but Berserk does talk.
Yeah, and the arcade.
Should
or-
Berserk talk?
That's a
That's a
much better question.
Deeper and more philosophical question.
The Space Fury, which had the big vector alien eye on the screen that
Mm.
really fucking freaked me out when I was a kid. That had some speech in it. Yeah, first game with speech is like a totally knowable thing, but I don't have the game off the top of my head.
If you guys aren't familiar, go look up the song from Psycho Soldier. It's real good.
I feel like
It's real
that
catchy.
song has been in like they
Like
made it into a
KOFs or
rhythm
something?
game or
Oh
something.
yeah,
or-
because like they're in KOF.
Yeah.
Athena and Kensu.
right. I feel like that song
Kenshu.
like shows up in other stuff here and there.
According to listverse.com,
What?
No, I didn't love it.
they claim an Intellivision game called Space Spartans from 1981
81 would have been.
is the first game.
Yeah, that might.
Did they go, this is Space Sparta?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they had the IntelliVoice add-on
That's- yes,
module
yes,
that was
they-
like
they-
that
yes,
and
they-
B-52 Bomber.
Yes, they say it was Space Spartans was supposedly the first IntelliVoice game.
I love the idea of an add-on for voice.
Yeah.
Like on a video game
It's like,
console.
bolt this on and it will put voice in these 3 games that we'll release.
Four
Four, yeah.
games is all they ever put out for that thing. Talking's pretty good. I don't know if you've heard. Nathan from Tumwater, Washington asks, have you ever been kicked out of a bar, restaurant, or library?
I got kicked out of a library.
Yeah?
Actually.
Go on.
It was the library next to my high school that I went to all the time, and we were just being shit and not like we would not stop talking, and we were especially rowdy. It's where we would go wait for the bus.
Okay.
And what happened was the bus came right when school let out, but you didn't have time to make it there, so we'd have to wait there for like an hour for the next bus. So we would just be there, and we were like on the computer. You know, you can turn in your library card to use the computer, and we were just being like awful,
Just doing bad things.
Not necessarily bad things, just being very disruptive.
Yeah.
And pushed it too far, and they're like, you just come back tomorrow. Go to the park.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about the instance.
Okay.
Which I've been.
Fair enough.
I have been part of a group that was asked to leave a bar before,
Yeah.
but it was never necessarily because of my actions.
Yeah. Just people getting too ratty.
Yeah.
You're preaching about the dangers of alcohol.
Exactly. And they were like, hey, this is bad for business. Get out of here.
We got kicked out of this one I can talk about a little bit. We got kicked out of a strip club once, so we stole the microwave from their break room.
Wait, how did you get into the break room?
Walked into it.
As you were being kicked out?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were mad.
That's brazen.
Yeah. We were drunk.
That's
Oh,
weird.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Did anybody accost you on the way out holding a microwave?
Nope. They just wanted us to go.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. All right.
And you made it out with the microwave?
Made it out with a microwave. Yeah. It ended up at somebody's house. I think we
Free
used it that
microwave.
night after we got
For
back.
many
Yeah.
years of dutiful microwaving service.
I would feel like that's how that has to end. If you're just like drunkenly walking up the street
You
with a
go to a
microwave,
quick trip
you're like, no,
afterwards.
you just stop,
Yeah.
stop here and get some stuff, and then we're gonna walk by. We're gonna use this fucking microwave. Fuck this.
Yep.
Fuck these people and their microwave. I would use the microwave, eat the food, and then destroy the microwave. That would be exactly how that would go for me.
With what?
Fuck a fucking baseball
Baseball
bat.
bat,
I
yeah.
would.
What if you blew it up from the inside?
Yeah.
Oh, aluminum foil. Just stuff it full of aluminum foil.
I actually have done that too. I actually have destroyed a microwave from the inside. Now that I think about it, like,
What if you put as much metal as you could physically
that
fit
is
in there?
That's kind of where we
Ooh, that
started
sounds-
going with it. But
That's bad.
You put it out on like a concrete ground somewhere
Yeah.
with an extension
that's
cable.
exactly what we did.
How did
That is
go?
1000% what we did. It's like, well, we're moving out of this place. Fuck this shit.
How did it go?
It was not as cool as you would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. We kept having these grand visions of like, let's turn the microwave on and then break the glass. And then we're like, wait, that'll kill us. They're like, no, let's do it anyway, though. Yeah, like, and it was a long back and forth about the dangers of being exposed to microwave radiation. I was like, we'd probably be okay for now. Look, I don't want tumors in my tumors. Let's just fucking leave the microwave sealed. I don't know.
Mike from New Jersey,
Now you're getting it.
Moida.
home of Moida. The Rift and Oculus Touch controllers are on sale for $400.
Yeah.
Is it worth getting in at that price, or is this just a precursor to them announcing newer hardware that will be out next year? Is there enough out there to jump on this now, or should I wait until the Oculus 2 gets announced?
They're billing this as a summer sale and not necessarily
Okay.
permanent pricing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the setup for it, like the space and the rig and all that, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think like, as of today, like Amazon will give you like $100.
I think they sold through that
Oh, really?
super fast.
I'm
I saw
sure.
that this morning. They're
Yeah.
giving out a $100 gift card with that $400 deal, but I think that is gone.
I've been watching clips of Gorn, which is like this, first person like gladiator combat, very cartoony. I'm like, so that's only $3.99, huh?
yeah, like there's enough. I think there's enough between like Gorn and Super Hot and like To the Top, which we looked at briefly. I think there's enough cool, weird VR only experiences that is worth like having that. And also, because not only do you have the VR thing for yourself to play, but you're also the dude with VR, like, right? So
and then you can make money on the side.
Exactly.
Selling I would probably, like, if you're in a position where you already have a good gaming PC, and you own a PlayStation 4, I would certainly spend the $400 on a Rift and Touch before I would spend it on the PlayStation VR stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. A lot of it comes down to, do you have the PC already? What does $400 mean to you, really? Because a lot of the VR software is still like kind of expensive.
I mean, it sounds like the bigger thing for him is, when is there going to be another one?
Yeah,
we don't have any real.
That is, like a.
That's kind of
I think they
the
need
million-dollar question.
more good software out there before they announce another.
Well, so you're starting to
version
see
of the
like they're starting to send new controllers to developers, like for Vive stuff. Like they got these new knuckle controllers that are kind of doing some stuff that's a little bit more like the Oculus Touch. And they've done new lighthouses. They're now selling a deluxe audio strap for the Vive for like $140. But the Oculus has headphones built in.
Yeah.
It's a strap that does that.
Okay.
And that's cool because it was cool on the Rift as well. So you're starting to see these kind of smaller potentially optional upgrades happening. But yeah, I wonder if like the optics are if they were building it today, how much better would the optics be? Because it comes down to the headset itself. Like, what are they doing? Is it a higher resolution? Is it just a better, cleaner look? You know, like what's the difference there? Because that'll be the thing that dictates when they're like, hey, this is a new Rift.
Right. Also, they need graphics cards to keep getting faster before they can like up the resolution on those things.
Yeah,
like,
that comes into play as well. But you know, like the Rift launched with a recommended spec of a 970.
Yeah.
So
like, that's pretty attainable
with
at this
1080s
point.
being out there and being like pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, but they probably want to wait till they can make a pretty big leap before they go designing a whole new headset, I would think.
I would think so too. I'd want to say that even if they put out better hardware, I don't know that it'll be so dramatically different that your existing piece will be obsolete. Yeah. It'll be more like, oh, well, you know, I could have better resolution. I could have, you know, a better experience. You know, the tracking solution is a little easier to set up than it was before. Because that's actually my big Rift issue right now, is that it's all the sensors are USB, and as opposed to the Vive Lighthouses just being power, is that like you want to set up 3 of those sensors. So that's 3 USB, 3 ports is what it's supposed to be. You can plug some of them into 2 ports and still have it work. But that is you running USB cables around a room behind you because you want 1 behind you and 2 up front. And, you know, potentially if you want to go 4 sensors because you're a fucking lunatic and you want to go all the way, that's more, you know, it's like that aspect of the setup is actually become something of a limiting factor for me at home. Cause like I want to go, it'd be cool if I had better tracking in this room. But I can't, like, there's not enough software for me to justify like going and getting the sensor and like screwing it to the wall. Like I was like just the other day, I was looking at the sensors and looking at where I have them positioned and going like, you know, it kind of limits like this. I could get more out of this small room I'm in if these sensors were mounted directly to the wall up a little bit higher. Right. And then I could mount one behind me. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to run USB 3 cable around this. Like, fuck no. Like, I'm just not going to do that. So, so that's become my personal limiting factor, but I think every single person is going to reach a different point with that stuff. So I think you could buy one of these things for $400 and still feel like you're getting plenty out of it. I could see them doing new hardware next year, but I don't think it'll be such a world, you know, like a huge shift that'll necessarily make your stuff obsolete.
Yeah. It might just like look a little better and feel a little smoother.
Yeah, or like, you know, or it'll solve some of these tracking issues in a different, where, you know, make it easier to set up for consumers.
Yeah, like a little more refined, maybe a little cheaper.
Yeah, or it could be new controllers then that you could just replace the controllers and keep the same headset. And, you know, like I think we'll see some more piecemeal stuff like that too, with the kind of the knuckle controllers for the Vive, kind of proving that out a little bit. If those make it to market, I mean, they're giving them to devs for a reason, so I assume that stuff is coming. But I have not researched those controllers too much to know exactly what they're capable of. Yeah. Whole thing's kind of a mess. But that's becoming a more reasonable price. Yeah. Assuming you already have the power at your disposal.
Sure. Looking forward to this Knuckles controller. I can play.
It's lock on. You bolt. You take the controller and you bolt your old controller to it. You plug in the top, and then you can kind of get the tracking of both in one thing. You can play a good bonus game.
Finally play like Sonic 3 and Knuckles and actually control Knuckles well.
Yeah, it's the same levels. It's just like a different...
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Kevin from Seattle. Bobby Kotick is president and CEO of Activision Blizzard, but we also once had Bobby Kotick, butt of the joke. Where did Bobby Kotick, butt of the joke, disappear to, and more importantly, why?
They brought, you know, they made Eric Hirschberg the head of the face of that company.
I guess so. I didn't think about that.
Hirschberg comes out more and talks about Destiny events and stuff like that. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah. Bobby K been keeping a low profile.
Yeah. It's been a long time since Moneyball came out.
Right. Yeah. He's spending his Moneyball money.
That was kind of the last time I remember him being out in public.
Yeah.
Or in a public facing position.
Right. Yeah. He's not the go-to guy for talk about high-level Activision stuff. Yeah, that's Hirschberg. So.
I wonder if any of that was at all reactive.
I wonder.
You think? I don't know.
Is Hirschberg still there? I almost want to look that up.
I feel like we would definitely know if he wasn't, right?
I feel like, was that reported that he was going to be stepping down later this year, or in favor of someone else? Or
he's still listed on the Activision Blizzard senior corporate
I
management
must just be
page.
thinking of something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was announced as like he's there for now, but like they're like he's moving on or retiring at the end of the. But I could just be fucking inventing shit with my mind now.
Yeah, I don't see anything about that.
All right,
you heard it here first.
That's right. I invented shit with my mind here first.
Bobby Kotick is still doing it, whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You can be assured of that. Jason from Centennial, Colorado. If Ben Pack packed heat, what kind of heat would Ben Pack pack?
Probably like a 9mm.
Yeah.
Probably just something simple,
serviceable,
refined. Yeah.
Something,
like it's not.
something
I'm not going to be all like, I got a Magnum.
Some solid stopping power.
Yeah, just like
reliability.
clean, neat, not nondescript. Just something I can rely on. I'm not
everyday carry.
Yeah.
Okay. No ornamental finish.
I mean, I'm not gonna go full revolver ocelot and just like have I although I do like the idea of spinning a gun around my finger.
It's fun.
But I don't see myself being that flashy with the gun because I mean I'm a grappler, right? And so I want to use the gun as a last resort.
Okay, sure.
The gun's just there for show.
Yeah,
they're scared of the gun. They don't. But they need to be scared of
these
the guns.
Yeah, keep them out of arm's range.
I'm doing finger guns.
For those of you at home. Samesh from Atlanta. What happened to Dreams from Media Molecule? After the initial announcement and a few demos from Gamescom, there seems to be no mention of the game anymore. Is this generation's The Agent? Or Agent, I guess, was the actual name of the game.
I have no idea what this is.
I don't know.
I think it's still happening.
I
It
guess.
was the VR, like, kind of...
That was that weird sculpting
tool
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
We're
remember
the
that?
makers of Little Big Planet.
Yes.
Like that studio still exists.
Yeah.
Media Molecule is still there doing whatever they're doing.
Something.
Huh.
Also, then PSVR came out and everybody remembered, like, oh, the moves are not that great. They're actually kind of bad because they're very old at this point.
Yeah.
I wonder what's up with that project. Yeah, they haven't said.
Yeah,
anything about it.
I thought we would see something on it at E3, I guess. But yeah.
Looks like there was going to be a beta at the end of last year, but they canceled it.
Okay.
That's all I know.
All right. Got nothing for you. Sorry. Scott from Michigan. Saginaw? That's how you say that, right? Saginaw. All right, that's where he's from.
Saginaw.
No, does not work.
Any comment on the Tomorrow Children shutting down and being pulled from PSN on November 1st? I remember Brad being intrigued by it during a quick look. Did any of you spend more time with it? What were its fatal flaws?
It wasn't very good.
Yeah, I guess that's
the most fatal of flaws.
Fatal.
It was kind of it was like an interesting idea. That
I don't know that I ever got my head around it well enough to actually decide if it was good or not. Like it was so baffling.
I thought it looked really nice.
The
and
style
striking,
was incredible for sure, but like it was such a weirdly designed
I never
thing.
found a good like loop in that game.
Yeah,
it's a
kind
lot of resource.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I would go out and get stuff and like maybe get a little bit of yield from it.
Yeah.
and then like try and go to the same place to like redo it, and it's not there.
Yeah, like mining the monster carcasses was kind of tedious, and like you could die out there in the plains kind of unexpectedly, and then when
nothing was permanent. Anytime you logged in, like you were just kind of like you weren't building a steady city for yourself. It was just like, well, okay, now I'm logging back in and I'm somewhere else.
I'm in somebody else's town now.
It's a whole different thing.
There wasn't great feedback when you would dump the resources into the buckets. Like you didn't really get a great sense of what that was doing for you, and there are all those weird like popularity and kind of reputation systems that weren't exposed super great.
Yeah, and there was a lot of stuff in there that seemed like stuff like that would only make sense if tons of people were playing the game very seriously. But like that didn't seem like that was something that would ever happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I love the vibe of that game.
Yeah,
but it was kind of inscrutable.
I bought my way in because they launched it as a buy your way in before it's free to play.
Right.
And I never spent all the currency that I got from that because I was just like,
yeah, same.
Still got a few months, or not.
It's always a shame when games get pulled offline and kind of vanish as a result.
Yes.
Like I felt weird about Firefall shutting down last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about that?
Not really.
What is there to say?
Yeah.
We tried to
play it. It wouldn't launch.
Oh, you gave it a shot. Wow.
We tried to play it on the show last Friday, but the executable wouldn't launch.
Huh.
I don't know what was going on. I got home and downloaded it, and it ran and showed me my character, but the server was already gone, so I couldn't connect.
Oh, wow, it just happened.
Yeah,
it's just done.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, this is probably the most obvious thing in the world to say, but I had no idea it was still running.
Yeah, it sounded like it was going to shut down a while ago. There was a bunch of talk on like, oh, it's going away, and people are like, no, we're still here.
Didn't like somebody come in and like somebody scooped up ownership of it?
There was a bunch of fucking weird.
Like it changed.
They were going to
hands.
shut down. It changed hands, and now they're still going to. They said they're turning it into a mobile game. So
yeah, cool. And they're like, anyone that played the PC game is going to get a ton of shit in the mobile game, which that seems cool, but also those are the people who would be most likely to. Anyone still playing Firefall, that's the audience that would be most likely to potentially spend money on
into
new Firefall. So if you're like, here, get all this stuff, like, all right, better hope you can bring in new audience to your thing, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Just, I mean, stick more ads in urinals and
there you go.
Users will come.
Yeah. What will PAX do now that it's biggest exhibitor?
Yeah.
I don't even want to finish the fucking Firefall PAX joke.
Yeah. Nope. It's better to leave that one alone. This email, for all intents and purposes, is anonymous. On the most recent Bombcast, while discussing buying Steam reviews, Jeff wondered if people still buy Twitter followers and made a comment about how it probably isn't as common these days. I can assure you they do.
Did they look at my followers?
In fact, an entire company does. I currently write for a tech coverage site. Over the course of my 2 years of employment, my Twitter followers have skyrocketed from a couple thousand to nearly 30,000, with the majority of these followers happening over the last 6 months. After expressing my confusion and concern over Twitter of the sudden influx of egg avatars in my timeline, the social media manager for my company quietly assured me that everything was fine, to not worry about it, and gently encouraged me to maybe not bring it up anymore. Apparently, the company had either purchased followers, very sketchy, or preferential treatment in Twitter's algorithms, not quite as sketchy, without asking any of its employees if we even wanted to be part of this, pretty sketchy.
I think the algorithm thing is more sketchy.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Because, like, buying Twitter followers, that's like, there's this thing that is offered, and I can buy it.
And it's dumb, but you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to read any more of this because I don't want to incriminate this person, even though we didn't say who they are or where they work, but...
That's weird.
Yeah.
Especially, like, to what end?
Yeah.
What is 30,000 followers getting you, like, as a business? Like, what is that?
I saw somebody over the weekend that was like, their Twitter bio was, I bought 2 million Twitter followers and became verified, and now here I am.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Was it Joe Mandy? I think he was doing a long thing where he was buying followers. I want to say
it was. Which, as a bit, that is great.
Man.
But, like, in any other regard, what is your goal? What, like...
Right. Like the numbers game of Twitter is
not what it used
long
to be.
over. It's not, it really is.
Once Ashton Kutcher hit 1 million,
That's right, then who cares? But it just kind of became like what's the return on, like, Twitter, period.
Well, who knows how cheap?
Yeah.
Maybe it's incredibly cheap.
It can be, I think. Or at least it was last time I was looking at it.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's like there is a cheap level, but that just buys you a bunch of eggs, and then there is a more competitively priced or less competitively priced program where you can buy like humans, like a deep network of real accounts that are all fake.
But is that just, at some point, is that just like a standard like user acquisition thing where they're just like, instead of like literally they push the button and you get the followers, are they like surfacing your account to a ton of people in banner ads?
I think that
or
there
other,
is that too.
Yeah, like all this other sort of stuff.
You like promoted tweets where you're like, I had lunch today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, follow this guy.
I mean, I can do that right in the app. Like if I wanted to spend money promoting bad fucking tweets from my account, or probably any account.
You should promote that Zelda tweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, get that back out there.
Get Mr. Show trending.
Yeah, someone has to.
This is, I don't know,
like that to me. That's like, okay, like I guess you've got a social media strategy, but also like what the fuck are you gonna do with 30,000 followers, especially if most of them are fake? Yeah. Like what is
real people don't even read your articles,
right?
Fake people aren't gonna read them either.
Who the fuck does that look impressive to?
I mean,
who are they shopping that to? Going like, well, we've got a lot of social reach. Like, no, you fucking don't. You have 30,000 followers,
and they're fake.
Yeah, like forget whether they're fake or not. Like 30,000, like that's not. That's not that many in the grand scheme of things for like a red writer or other business. Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't look impressive. You're not like going like, oh, well, shit. All right, I guess I'm gonna do business with these guys. They got the soch figured out. Just fucking weird.
My strategy for amassing a large amount of Twitter followers is to join a respected video game site and have them talk about how you're the new hire, and then you'll go up like
announce your hire.
Like 10,000 followers in a couple weeks.
Let me know if you ever find one, because I'd like to sign up for that too.
I feel like Twitter is constantly on the verge of irrelevance these days. It hasn't quite tipped over yet.
Yes and no.
Well,
it's hyper relevant in a lot of ways.
Yes, it's a weird mix of like everybody thinks Twitter is over, and also that's the only place anything seems to happen.
I think Twitter is over for like what you classically think of as Twitter, as like, fun, a good time.
Yes, that's definitely true.
A fun place to goof around with your friends, and then maybe some other people might see it, or hey, I totally mentioned this celebrity and they saw it and said hi.
Sure,
like that stuff still happens, but it's not.
Lost its luster.
Yeah.
Or let's say maybe it's not worth the collateral damage that takes place.
I agree, and that's why I'm not verified. That's why I stand against being verified. I will never
do not get
never.
A smart move. Also, to be fair, I think a lot of the people that say Twitter is over are actually saying like Twitter is no longer capable of being acquired for $10 billion or whatever.
Oh,
like that's actually what they mean when they say
business,
that.
Like, sure. Yeah. Twitter is good and terrible.
Yeah.
Like all things.
Sure.
Like the entirety of the internet.
Internet has just shifted.
Yes.
Like less Twitter, more humankind.
Yeah. It's why, I mean, like the way that shift has happened is why I spend more time on like Discord servers, and like I don't leave a Twitter client up and running in a window all the time anymore. Yeah. Like I've definitely moved away from that. Like kind of smaller clusters of people. That's a little more interesting to me these days.
Yeah, I feel like there's just enough talk about Mastodon here and there that I keep waiting for something to happen there. But
E3 happened, and I just had no time to like keep up with Mastodon. I'm not sure where it's at.
About Mastodon.
I'm not sure where it's at.
I haven't heard about Mastodon in weeks.
I think maybe it had its
which
moment.
in a social media landscape is a lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Might as well be Peach at this point.
I'm not talking about Peach.
I still know a couple people who actively use Peach.
All right. No, I'm not judging or anything. Social media is dumb. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. That's it for emails this week. What do we got going on around here? Some things?
Yeah.
Anything planned that you'd like to pitch?
We're working on a couple like slightly longer term things. Now that we've got some VR stuff, we recorded Verodio last week. That's up on the site now. That's us kind of trying to get geared up for a little Star Trek bridge crew. Finally.
Yes.
So I'm hoping we'll get that off in the relatively near future here. That's kind of a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Some ideas kicking around.
Yeah. So some new stuff kicking
around. Talking a lot of
here.
stuff over. It's a good time of year for it. Deep in the planning. Let's say.
Yeah. So I got some stuff in the works.
Yes, excited. That will bear fruit over time for sure. But for now, this has been the Giant Bombcast. Let's go do something else. What do you say?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
We'll see you next week.